Thursday, July 2nd, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. We're going to start with the invocation, which will be given by Commander Leslie R. Walker, who is on Zoom.
Thank you so much to everyone. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, praise the Lord to everyone. Let's pray. Father, we thank you now for your goodness, mercy, and grace. We thank you for your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding. Now, certainly guide and lead this esteemed Board of Police Commissioners group today as they conduct the business of the city of Detroit. Give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And certainly we give you praise for all that you do, all of your protection, all of your love, and all of your grace. And we thank you now. We say thank God. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. And now if we could have the introduction of commissioners, please, the roll call. Madam Secretary.
Commissioner DeWalsh.
Present.
Commissioner Woods.
Present.
Commissioner Jones.
Present.
Commissioner Watts.
Here.
Commissioner Bowman.
Present.
Commissioner Camille.
Present.
Commissioner Ivy.
Present.
Commissioner Morris. Commissioner Williams.
Present.
8 present at this time, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Could we please have a motion to approve the July 2nd agenda, today's agenda?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Woods, supported by Commissioner Ivy. Sorry, we had 2 hands up. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. And now if I could get a motion to approve the minutes of June 25th, 2026.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Jones, supported by Commissioner Watts. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The motion carries. And then we have a closed session minutes of June 18th regarding applicant appeal Eric Stevens. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved by Commissioner, was it Woods?
Woods.
Supported by Commissioner Watts. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. And now, Madam Secretary, if you could have introduction of BOPC staff, chief of police, elected officials, representatives, and community leaders.
Madam Chair, through the chair, BOPC staff present: Janya Underwood, Teresa Blossom, Dior Mathis, Candace Hayes, Armani Arnold, Armesia Joshua, Mary Barber, Felicia Tyson, Drew Freeze. BOPC Chief Investigator Jerome Warfield Sr., Corporation Counsel Conrad Mallett is expected, Dr. Francis Jackson, parliamentarian, OCI Senior Supervising Investigator Hiller, DPD HR Director Katrina Patillo, our Chief of Police Todd A. Bettison. Interpreters today are Stephanie Beatty and Angelique Taylor. Court reporter Hanson Court Reporting, audio Sergeant Enrique Jackson, and media services Charles Henry. We would like to give a special recognition to the guest of elect Chair Jones and guest of elect Vice Chair Watts. Special recognition, Ms. Marie Overall. And Wayne County Clerk Kathy Garrett is also present. Marie Overall, Administrative Assistant to State Representative Tyrone Carter and VP of 4th Precinct Community Relations Council. Nicole Fisher, Secretary for 4th Precinct Community Relations Council, is on Zoom. Ms. Frida Butler, 2nd Precinct Community Activist. J.G. Love, Representative of City Council Member Renata Miller's office. Mark Young, President, Lieutenant, and Sergeant Association. And on Zoom are former Police Commissioner William Davis and former Police Commissioner Ricardo Moore. And those are the persons registered at this time, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda is the installation of our new officers. But before we go to that, I just want to say this is my last meeting as chair, and I have thoroughly enjoyed being your chair. I thank the board for giving me this opportunity, and I thank the staff for their support and their hard work. in helping to make these meetings go very well. And I also want to thank Commissioner Woods as vice chair, and I want to ask if he has any words he'd like to say.
Yes, it's been an honor and a privilege to serve as the vice chair and be able to serve alongside you. I'm very, very appreciative of all the sacrifices that you have made of your time and your schedule, and you've been a phenomenal, phenomenal leader and a person who loves the citizens of the city of Detroit. And so thank you for your service, and I thank all the fellow commissioners for working together to be able to bring some love to the citizens of the city of Detroit through our oversight work.
Thank you so much for those kind words, and I do want to thank also Dr. Jackson, who has really helped us keep on track with our meetings and Robert's Rules of Order, and I really, really appreciate her. And I also want to thank Corporation Counsel Conrad Mallet, who's not here yet, but, well, they're coming, the judges are coming, for helping us make these meetings run smoothly and legally and on track. So thank you all for your support, board members and staff. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Madam Secretary for the installation of our new officers, Robert Jones and Beverly Watts.
Madam Chair, through the chair, at this time, in this order, I believe Chief Judge William McConaughey is here now. If you would come forward for the installation of the newly elected chair, Robert P. Jones.
Okay.
Afterwards, Wayne County Clerk Kathy M. Garrett will do the swearing, the oath of office for the elected vice chair, Beverly J. Watts.
Okay. While Robert is coming, I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Bill McConaughey. I have the honor of being the Chief Judge of 36th District Court. And this is the third time I've had the honor of swearing in the new chairperson for the Board of Police Commissioners. It is always an honor to do this, and today is very special because I've known Mr. Jones here for about 30 years. Grew up in the same neighborhood on the east side of Coney Gardens action. Knew him from Barksdale Funeral Home. When I got into politics, he was with AT&T and all that good stuff, and he has always been a gentleman, and also he is a member of the world's greatest fraternity. And just that's why I'm wearing a red tie right now. So with that being said, sir, I'd ask that you raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Yes.
I, and state your name,
I, Robert Preston Jones,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the state of Michigan
of the state of Michigan
and the Charter
and the Charter
of the City of Detroit,
of the city of Detroit,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
the duties
the duties
of the chairperson
of the chairperson
of the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners,
of the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners,
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my ability.
and the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Could we also get a group picture with the Board of Police Commissioners, the judge, and the new chair, please?
Absolutely.
No trouble. Her, the vice chair. No?
Madam Secretary.
Madam Secretary,
The next swearing in of Commissioner Watts.
Chair Roberts, through the chair, Wayne County Clerk Kathy Garrett will be approaching the podium as elected Vice Chair Beverly Watts will be given her oath of office.
If I may take a point of privilege also, I am Kathy Young Garrett, proud, honored, and blessed to be the Wayne County Clerk. I have known Commissioner Watts for 25 years. She's my unsolicited boss. But I publicly want to commend her for making this commitment to our community.
She's my boss.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
I,
state your name.
Beverly J. Watts,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of this United States
and the Constitution and laws of the State of Michigan
and the Constitution and the laws of the State of Michigan
and the Charter of the City of Detroit,
and the Charter of the City of Detroit,
and that I will faithfully and impartially perform
and I would faithfully and impartially perform
and discharge the duties of
and discharge the duties of
the office as Vice Chairperson
the office as Vice Chairperson
of Detroit Board of Police Commissioners
of the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my ability.
and the best of my ability. Amen, amen, amen.
So help me God.
Help me God.
I know that's right. Congratulations.
right. And can we all get up to take a picture with the new vice chair? My boss. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone that was here as we did the installation of the new vice chair, Beverly Watts, and myself. Thank you. We look forward to your support and prayer. Thank you, Madam Secretary. At this time, we will have a resolution.
Mr. Chairman, we want the record to show the two more commissioners have arrived. Lisa
Thank you.
Carter
Commissioner Carter. Thank you.
and he
So
was
let the
not-
records,
Roll call.
I'm sorry, let the records show that we now have Commissioner Lisa Carter and Darius Morris.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. I know you will keep me straight. I look forward to it. Madam Parliamentarian asked me yesterday, was I ready for today? I said, I'll know when you speak to me. So with that, we will now have a resolution that will be read by Commissioner Darius Morris. And this resolution is honoring the Nation of Islam First Lady Khadija Farrakhan posthumously.
Yes. Memorial resolution honoring Nation of Islam First Lady Khadija Farrakhan posthumously, whereas named for an American hero, Boston native Bessie Ross married her childhood sweetheart, Lewis Walcott, in 1953. 2 years later, the couple converted to Islam, moved to Chicago, and became known as Khadija and Louis Farrakhan. And whereas Minister Farrakhan rose as the leader of the Nation of Islam after the assassination of Malcolm X in 1965, together, Minister and First Lady Farrakhan provided inspiration to many around the world and touched countless people with their devotion, humanity, and commitment. Mrs. Farrakhan was known for personally sparking positive aspirations and achievements in generations of youth, women, and families whom she touched on the city's south side and around the world. To them, she was Queen Mother Khadija. And whereas 2 years after the massive Million Man March, Mrs. Farrakhan headlined the 1997 Million Woman March in Philadelphia, where she proclaimed, "A nation can rise no higher than its women." Her message of womanhood and motherhood resonated throughout her lifetime and became a hallmark of her legacy. And whereas the greater Detroit community was deeply saddened by the passing of this remarkable woman at the age of 90, the community will deeply miss her and join in prayers that her husband and family find strength, comfort, and peace in their faith, cherished memories, and loving friends. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners hereby honors Khadija Farrakhan posthumously in recognition of her lifetime of service and inspiration to a global community. The board expresses its sincere condolences and sympathy to Minister Farrakhan and all her loved ones, and on behalf of the people of Detroit.
Mr. Chair, motion to adopt.
Second. It has been moved and seconded to adopt the motion of the resolution that was just read. The discussion on the motion. Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Commissioner Morris, thank you very much. At this time, we will have a report by Chief Todd Bettison.
Good afternoon to everyone,
Yeah.
distinguished board, and congratulations to the new chair and the new vice chair.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, and thank you for allowing me to be in the picture with you as well. See, I got all dressed up for you today. I'll start with our crime report. Homicides are 10% down compared to last year at this particular point in time. And so our officers will definitely be deployed, working, of course, overtime and deployed on the streets, because across the nation, as we go into our 4th of July weekend, we know that violence tends to tick up, and also when it's hot. And we know that in the city of Detroit, we have a hot weekend, so encourage everybody to stay hydrated and try to stay cool and let your temperatures be cool, and pack your patience as well. Our non-fatal shootings, they're down 10%, robberies down 11%, Property crime overall is down 11%, and carjackings, which is a violent offense, is down 13%. And so that's compared to last year this time, and we experienced record lows last year, even though we all know that when you look at the crimes and you see some of the heinous stuff that's reported on the media, not only in the city of Detroit, but just across the country and across the metropolitan region, it can definitely shake your sense of security. But know that the men and women of the Detroit Police Department, they're out there deployed, they're working hard, and our investigators are doing everything that they can from a detection, but also from a prevention standpoint as well, and intervention. And that takes all of us. Major arrests, major scenes. We were all troubled by what we saw on the news of a horrific pit double fatal accident where a car struck two individuals on June 28th at approximately 2:16 a.m. in the morning, where officers were deployed to the area of West McNichols and Ardmore Street. That's in the vicinity of Teresa's Place, a local bar. For a reported vehicle pedestrian crash. Upon their arrival, officers located two victims, one male age 51, one female age 43 in the roadway. Medics arrived to the scene, and unfortunately, both had expired. We did make an arrest at the scene. A defendant, Nicholas Alexander Lee Nathan, age 29. It was determined that he was super drunk, and he has been charged. He was intoxicated, driving at a high rate of speed, and struck both victims while they were crossing the street. Following an investigation by DPD, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office has charged the defendant with 2 counts of second-degree murder and 2 counts of operating while intoxicated causing deaths and 2 counts of reckless driving causing death. Traffic, of course, we're out there doing traffic enforcement. That's one of the community's #1 complaints that we receive, individuals driving at a high rate of speed, violating traffic laws, et cetera. And so our DPD, we deploy our traffic enforcement unit based off of high accident intersection levels. And so from June 21st through the 27th, our traffic enforcement unit conducted operations in the 6th, 7th, 10th, and 11th precincts. Officers made 164 traffic stops, issuing over 325 citations for moving violations and 52 speeding tickets. And what I can tell you is we have seen a slight reduction in the number of vehicle accidents. I don't have that number in front of me, but I'll report out on that next week. But it appears that our deployment strategy as far as traffic enforcement is working, because we actually drill down to the intersections as to where we're seeing the most accidents, and we deploy our traffic officers there. Community updates. Everybody's saying, when will it be a Walk a Mile Wednesday, Chief Bedison? I wanted to have one yesterday, but my staff advised me that I couldn't do it based off the hot weather. They said it was unsafe. I still wanted to go forth, but they said no. We didn't have one. And then the week before that, it was a bad thunderstorm. So I'm looking forward to trying to get me a Walk a Mile Wednesday in next week, and look definitely forward to that. We have a gun safety workshop that's coming up on Saturday, July 11th. All joint officers from the 12th precinct, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. for a gun safety workshop. I tell everyone, if you're going to own a firearm, be responsible, and also inventory your firearms, because a lot of people just assume or think we're talking about one firearm. There's some individuals who have lost track of their firearms in their houses, everyone. So I need y'all to inventory your firearms, know where they are, and lock them up in safes. Some high-profile media type stuff that happened last week as well. We saw the tragic story where a young girl drowned at Maharis Gentry Park in the area of Avondale and Conroe on the city's east side. Reports indicate the 14-year-old girl went into the water while trying to help and save her 9-year-old family member, and she did. Yeah. She absolutely did, so she is a hero. Yeah. It's unfortunately that she lost her life. There were some rocks and boulders, and they were playing on the rocks, and the 9-year-old fell in. Her sister went in to save her. It was approximately 5 feet of water, and what you can't see is that it's a lot of it's not seaweeds, but a lot of weeds that grow up in her foot. She got entangled there. So we're making sure that we get out a lot more signs and just warn the general public about the dangers when it comes to the Detroit River. Also, last week, we had an officer-involved shooting. Detroit police fatally shot a man on the city's west side last Thursday evening. That was June 25th, 2026, after he opened fire on officers who were executing a search warrant at his home on Rosemont Avenue near 7 Mile. Of course, in any officer-involved shooting, we have turned that over to the Michigan State Police for them to do that investigation. And so waiting on the conclusion of the investigation and the results from the Wayne County prosecutor. It'll be more to come regarding that right there. They were there executing the warrant based off of the fact that he had threatened neighbors with a weapon, feloniously assaulted them. So 8th Precinct officers were investigating on that. Another case, and I'll try to wrap this up in a minute. A Detroit man abandoned his 2-year-old child after a motorcycle crash. So I don't know how many folks saw that, but we definitely have him in custody as well. So a 2-year-old child was abandoned by her father after a motorcycle crash on Sunday in the area of Braille and Evergreen Road. After the motorcycle crash, the father fled the scene. The child was injured in the accident, but is recovering and is in stable condition at a local hospital. Yesterday, we had a barricaded, or the day before, we had a barricaded gun person situation. Barricaded gunman situation ended peacefully Tuesday after Detroit police negotiated the surrender of a 39-year-old man allegedly firing shots during an attempted eviction in the area of Margarita and Livernois. DC Arnold Williams made the scene along with the department's crisis negotiation team. And so our co-response, the members who have been trained in CIT, it's working. And we will continue to train our department members and do everything that we can to bring those types of scenes to peaceful resolutions. I did get a briefing on that, and I said, hey, just do everything that we can to wait it out and do the best that we can to make sure that we end that peacefully. And at this time, that concludes my report, and I'm open for any questions.
Thank you, Chief. From the board, do we have any questions for the chief? I will start with Commissioner Watts.
Yes, thank you, Chief, for that report. I just have a comment. Again, I think publicly we need to commend that 11-year-old who unfortunately drowned, giving her life trying to save her cousin. And also, I want to publicly recognize the residents, the patrons that was over there with the 2 individuals who was hit and run at Teresa's place on West McNichols. Unfortunately, most saw the video on social media, but what it showed is that those patrons made sure that that driver did not get away. They made sure he stayed there until the police arrived. So that way he could be held accountable for the actions he did, killing someone. So thank you for that. I just wanted to publicly say that those patrons need to be recognized for their heroic act.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Watts. Any other comments or questions for the chief from the board members? Commissioner Bowman.
Yes, Chairperson Jones. Actually, I have both a comment, but then I wanted to repeat some questions I asked before, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, the comment is regarding the drowning, and indeed it's very tragic. This person lost her life. Would like to say I think it would be a good idea if along the river walk, and there may be some of these present, but they need perhaps to have more at regular intervals, have life preserver rings with long ropes attached so people can toss them out to rescue people. In some cases, that could not only save the life of the drowning person, but then is making it possible to give someone a chance to get out of the water without having to dive in oneself. And I think that might reduce the number of drownings. The other thing was I actually had posed a couple questions last week to Assistant Chief Bliss, and I think he was not ready for the questions. Really, no offense. It was kind of like a surprise that I would ask these things. But I'm going to ask you the same questions, which were, One, in the case of after the fireworks, where there was a person arrested with a long gun, if that person was in an area where the open carrying of long guns was prohibited, some kind of special like zone, like, you know, I know like there's cordoned off areas or areas when one goes for a checkpoint. So that was one of the three questions.
So that particular long gun was in a book bag, and so it was concealed. And so it was not open carry, and it was also stolen, from what I was told. And so it's a couple things with that one right there.
Thank you. The other ones involved the other, actually, I just had one other question, I believe, at the moment. And that was involving, no, there were two. And the other one, if it's okay,
Yes, sir.
there's two more. One was the other one was involving a person shot. And I heard in news reports, they made it sound like basically two people were together and one person had the long gun, and which you've already addressed that, and the other person fled and was shot. And I'm wondering, in that case, was there any case, and now I remember actually, Bliss told me actually, it wasn't that he didn't know about it, it's that there was an ongoing investigation. Is it possible now to say anything about, was there any indication that this person was going to behave in a threatening manner toward the officers pursuing them or a member of the public?
Michigan State Police is doing that investigation, and it is a current criminal case, and the individual has been charged that you're referring to by the Wayne County prosecutor, so it would be inappropriate for me to comment on that.
Okay, thank you. And then finally, I had a question about Shot Spotter, and I realized that it was recently approved for additional funding by the City Council. And one of my questions at the time was involving the information, because I've been told before that there's some kind of filtering where the waveform of a gunshot is detected, and then just the snippets of sound like immediately before and after that shot are transmitted, as well as the location and the timing of the shot. And my question was whether or not the information is first going to some server not belonging to DPD before the information is then transmitted to DPD.
If I understand your question correctly, and I will definitely attempt to answer that, you're saying it is the essence of what you're saying is, does it record conversations, or is that?
Well, yeah, well, not necessarily intentionally record, but my concern is that prior to the filtering, that the information is being transmitted basically into what we call the cloud before it is ultimately processed and sent back to the DPD, thus being potentially interceptable. And I think perhaps it looks like DC Bliss, or sorry, DC Bliss is ready for a response on that.
Through the chair.
Yes,
So when a gunshot goes off, it's called a dynamic incident. And in order for it to be detected, certain things must occur. Number one, it has to be a certain decibel level. Okay, so it's a lot higher than a human voice. And it has to be picked up on at least 3 sensors. And the sensors are placed 100 to thousands of meters separate. So it has to be a very loud bang, so to speak. So that dynamic incident is then, if it checks off all those boxes, it then goes and it then gets processed by sound thinking, by their computer system. Okay? Once it's processed, what it does is it looks at all of that and it filters out of what it thinks could be helicopter blades, fireworks, a bad muffler, anything like that, because they all have certain prints. Just like if you have a automatic gun, it has certain prints on it. So what ends up happening is once it's done through that system, it goes to their real-time assessment, where you have a human that listens to it. It only listens to 1 second before the dynamic incident and 1 second after. That's the only audio that you get. You get the audio of 1 second, the dynamic incidents, what is the gunfire, and then 1 second after. Once that is reviewed and it is determined that it is, and that it could be multiple shots, it could be high capacity magazine, it could be a machine gun. Once that's done, then that is sent to the Detroit Police Department. But during that time in the beginning, it's all encrypted.
And what I would add to that, I will bring, or so that you can hear it, because you can hear it, and I've listened to it, and it's gunfire, but when you hear it, sometimes it's even better than the articulation from the words. And so it just gives you a real example of it's gunfire, and it's able to be distinguishable from fireworks.
The first part, if I may ask a follow-up. So the first part with the sound level that Deputy Chief Bliss now presented to me about the volume, is that happening at the mic? I mean, is the mic itself not capable of detecting the weaker conversational level sounds, or is that part of the filtering that happens later?
The human voice, where the sensors are, and you couple with the fact that you have to hit at least 3 different sensors that are distances apart. It is very, very, very rare that you would ever get any type of human voice or anything of that nature, just looking at those 2. Once that's put into the system, you only get a second before and a second after. So the Detroit Police Department will only get that. They don't get anything that's out there that is being monitored.
And human voices do not activate ShotSpotter. It detects gunfire.
I guess what I'm concerned about is the raw information going through, getting to dynamic sound before they filter it and send.
So the raw, through the chair, the raw information would not get through because, as I stipulated, you have to have 3 sensors that ping, that says, hey, there is a dynamic incident. You and I can have a conversation. We could scream as loud as we want underneath a sensor. It did not hit 3 sensors. It's not even detecting that and saying you had a dynamic incident.
How does it know all 3 are pinged
Because
without transmission?
through the chair, because it's a sound, and sound waves travel.
Yeah, through the chair, I didn't know that we was doing a public hearing on ShotSpotter.
Okay.
You know, I think that this teetering on, you know, and that we have a lot of things on
Okay,
there.
well, all right. Well, thank you for your time.
Through the chair.
I've got a
Okay.
Commissioner DeWalsh.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for your report, Chief. Last week, we had several community people and board members ask about the detention center and what was going to be done in terms of dealing with the heat that we're experiencing this week and probably for the next few weeks as it relates to there not being air conditioning in the detention center. Thank you, DC Bliss. And we requested that there be some that it be addressed in some way with portable air conditioners, at a minimum. So
through the chair, as I indicated before, we've had an issue with heat at the detention center for quite some time. Building 500 does not have air conditioning, and Building 100 does have air conditioning, but it goes down. It's an old system. Recently, what we do for 500 is we do open the outer windows. We do have additional fans that we have in order to circulate air. And we do make sure that we do checks on the detainees and that there's cold water for them. So we're constantly doing that during that time. In regards to 100, a couple of days ago, the air conditioning did go down. And in order to, and the heat was actually worse in 100 than it was in 500 because there is no open windows, there's nothing in order to circulate that air. So what we did while they were repairing it is we brought one of our command posts in and we put it right at the front so personnel could go out and cool off. And then also what we did is we did have some fans put in there, but again, there's very few circulation, and with a lot of fans on, it's very hard to hear. So what we did is we allowed them to go out, take extra breaks, cold water. I believe that there was also popsicles given out to some of our members if they wanted additional. And we did that until that was fixed, and was actually fixed, I believe, the end was 11:30 last night, right around 11:30 last night. And then we were able to pull the command post, and we now have air circulating. But we are monitoring temperatures in the buildings, making sure that that is being taken care of. Additionally, we've had discussions regarding putting air conditioning in 500, even temporary, and the smaller types, putting them in certain areas. And then we've also talked about updating the air conditioning in building 100. So we are having those discussions, and I know that there's some walkthroughs that have to happen because of the age of those buildings. They have to kind of look at what's going on in regards to the electrical. We've had some electrical issues at the DDC just because of some of the wiring and things of that nature. So there's a lot of things that we are looking at, but that's something that has been on Chief Bedison's radar since the beginning when we opened it up and we took it over. So we're still having those discussions.
It'll be my commitment to really move forth with it. And so getting a fresh assessment of what the actual price would be to be able to have an air conditioning unit put in building 500. And so I know that we refer to 500 and 100. It's a large campus with two structures that we use. And so building 100 is where it's the intake, and building 500 is the actual lock up the housing unit. And so they're processed in 100 and moved over to 500. And so building 100 does have air, it went down, and so, but we have that up. But building 500, even when the Michigan Department of Corrections had it throughout the time that we've occupied building 500, which would be since 2014. And we just recently assumed it from the Michigan Department of Corrections. It hasn't had air, but it'll be my commitment to work to get it. And I don't know of any other jails or housing units that have air, but what I can tell you is that when it comes to cleanliness in a jail facility, even though it's temporary, we can't hold more than 72 hours, that is one of the cleanest and one of the best, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make it better. And so it's my commitment to work with this board, to work with the city to be able to find out how much it's going to cost and identify the funding to actually get an air conditioning unit put in building 500. And I can keep the board updated and we can work on it together, but we're going to have to identify the funding source for it.
If I may, Chair, I understand all of the inner workings of getting something approved for purchase, et cetera, the bureaucracy. I'm on the budget committee for BOPC, and I know how long it takes. What I'm thinking, and what I think other members of the community were thinking, we see these portable stand-up air conditioners that you can buy at Best Buy. I mean, is that something that could be utilized just in the interim until you get funding to provide air conditioning for the, and we were focusing more on like the unit or the room where you have 15 people that are just pretty much standing in this room waiting. They're being detained for 72 hours or so. I don't know. They're not in cells. They're in a room. And it just seems to me there should be some interim, short-term solution until you get the funding. And I'd really like for you, Chief, to look into that before somebody dies. That's what concerns me from heat.
So,
overheating or what have you.
Our people are there too, and so, but we added fans, we put additional fans in, but my commitment is I will personally, tomorrow, go over to the DDC and go in there and stay there for a while, and I will give you a call tomorrow and let you know as I'm sweating or wherever it is, but I will update you, and if that's feasible, I'll be able to put eyes on it myself, because I can't just say yes that I can put it, but we will work through it, and I'll be able to have a better update for this board and the audience next week. But know that I will be there tomorrow.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
And you also had requested a report that showed the hourly update as far as the hourly temperature of the DDC. And so I do have that report for each day, what the average temperature is. So we completed our homework, ma'am.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Morris?
Sorry, Commissioner Camille.
Commissioner Camille?
Mr. Chair, thank you. Thank you, Chief, for your report, and thank you, Commissioner DeWalsh, for following up on that. I was going to ask about the report. Thank you for providing that, and I would like to add, if you could, can we have also added to that report a count of the number of reports of heat illness from detainees and staff as well, broken out in detainees and staff on that report, and look forward to receiving that. Also, a question regarding the DDC. So the fans are bringing circulating air in the general facility, but what about people that are in the isolation rooms where the doors have to be closed? How are they getting any type of circulation?
Deputy Chief Bliss.
Through the chair, so there are fans out actually in those hallways, in those areas too. So we don't just have it at the main, we have it in the hallways, and where those, also where the windows are, those windows are open. So we are trying to circulate through all of the areas. It's not just isolated to one place. It's throughout the entire facility.
Right, through the chair. Okay, but aren't those doors closed, or do those doors have big windows to the hallway?
So there is circulation into the, now there's not a lot of circulation, but there is some circulation, yes.
Okay, so I would just ask, so in that report, what I was looking for when I made the motion that was approved last week was the highest temperature in the building. So if the temperature is higher in those rooms because they're getting less circulation, that's the number that we need. So if we can just make sure that we're getting the highest temperature in the building as best that you can, yes, that will be appreciated. I have two more questions, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Chief, I've been getting reports that during police interactions like traffic stops or Terry stops, that officers are temporarily confiscating legally held handguns from valid CPL holders and then unloading those before returning the guns to the owners. Is that a standard procedure?
No.
It's not? Okay.
No.
All right. So we'll address that through the citizen complaint process.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then through the chair, my last question is, can the department schedule a viewing of that body-worn camera footage for the young man that was shot by the police at the fireworks for those commissioners who'd like to see it?
Let me consult, and I'll get you an answer.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Commissioner Woods?
Yes, as relates to DDC, with Deputy Chief Bliss, there was some requests to be able to make sure that there was some air conditioning, at least to look out for air conditioning. Was any due diligence done between last week and today to be able to see if that was able to be done?
Through the chair, I submitted a memo, a email to the director of Detroit Building Authority in regards to doing an assessment, and I did specify actually little air conditioning units to have them do an assessment for that facility. So I'm waiting on that assessment.
So they haven't responded to that?
Not yet.
Yeah, that is absolutely unacceptable. You know, when you got people dying in jails, you know, somebody died in prison today, and they dying consistently in there. You know, so with the Michigan Department of Corrections, they die in there. You know, and for us not to get up that all the way to the top in these type of conditions, it's not acceptable, in my opinion. You know, and so I'm really urging you guys to be able, and I appreciate the chief urgency of this, and he's taking this very seriously, that he's going to go in and tomorrow to be able to assess this. But God forbid something happened to someone in there because of these temperatures. You know, the prisoners didn't get no popsicles. You know, they're not getting that. You know, and I think that we need to do everything we can to put urgency on this particular request, especially in these conditions.
Through the chair, Commissioner Woods, you're absolutely right. And I will be calling Director Clifton directly after this meeting. And I will update you, and I will be calling Director Clifton when I'm at the DDC tomorrow there as well. And I just want to let the community know, and one of the things that we have to do a better job of as the police department is being able to report out when things are going right, as well as when we report out things that are going not right. And so the men and women of the DDC have been doing some amazing work when it comes to preventing and keeping individuals safe there. We will continue to do that, but in this area, like I said, it's always room for improvement. And so after this meeting, I will be having a conversation with Director Clifton.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Through the chair.
Hold on.
Okay.
Commissioner Watts?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Not to belabor the point, but I just want to also echo what everyone's been saying. I know in my days at the county, when we were over facilities, juvenile justice system and other facilities, we were faced with issues where things would fail too, but we had special procurement, you know, emergency procurement in situations like this, even air conditioners going out and generators going out. So I'd hope that the city of Detroit also would have that same protocol and process with the procurement, that you can have an emergency procurement to get some air conditioners or some heating, some cooling vendors or something in there for this particular thing. Because you can always plan with a budget for 12 months. That's easy, but you got to plan for the unexpected. So I'm glad to see that you're going to be going there directly. You're going to contact the director, but there's got to be a protocol here with the city of Detroit for emergency procurement for situations such as this. Thank you.
Commissioner Morris?
Yeah. I'm just going to say I agree wholeheartedly with what my colleagues have said. During these days where it's been hot temperature, I've had the opportunity to go into DDC myself and experience firsthand how hot it was, even for the officers. We had a couple of officers who looked 60 plus years old who were there, and it was a sad situation because they couldn't put fans out that had a certain amount of strength to really push the air, because the sound of the fan, they had to be able to hear and communicate with one another. So it was a concern that they wouldn't be able to hear, what was going on, be able to communicate with each other. But I did speak with a person who was in DPD custody, the young man who turned himself in upon release. He was put inside the individual cells, and he did state that he had made complaints that it was hot. And he does have some sicknesses, and that, he couldn't get no help. He could not get no help. And I would ask, let me see, I'm trying to be diplomatic about this, but I'm gonna just say this. In those individual cells, because the way that they are built, the air from the hallways cannot get inside of there. The inmates, maybe something should have been brought. If an inmate is in an individual cell and they can't get air and it's hot, don't tell us about a little window that's letting 90-degree weather come into it, which is causing it to be heated up. You have to, just like how you let other people in command come out, you might have to open up the cell, let them come out, stand in the hallway here, because they still separated from general population. Stand in the hallway, get a little breeze, give them a popsicle, and then put them back in, and maybe let them out every hour for 5 to 10 minutes or something. But a system has to be put in place, and it is not adequately being addressed, Deputy Chief Parrish. So please stop making it seem as though it is. There's an issue over there, and there's an issue for the inmates and for the officers, and it must be addressed. And hopefully the same energy that was put in to renewing the shot spotter will be the same energy will be put in to advocate for adequate airflow in the jail.
Through the chair. Understood, Commissioner Morris. And for the second time, I'm Deputy Chief Bliss.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said you was the better looking one.
And I'll say this, Commissioner Morris, you're absolutely right, and we will make sure that we protect all because, like I say, everybody counts, and we will address that. And so I'm going to look into all of what you say at the individual cells,
Yes, sir.
and I will go in the individual cells tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to see and look. And so I'm not going to give you a report back that somebody gave me. It'll be firsthand.
Yes, sir. And Commander Carter's doing a great job over there. She is doing everything because I was there. I seen her boots on the ground with her staff. Commander Carter is doing everything that she can to try to, make sure that the staff is taken care of as well as the inmates. It was a fan that wasn't working. She did get on the staff. Well, why didn't you bring it to my attention? Let's get another fan in here. Commander Carter, I'm very proud of her. She is definitely doing a great job over there with the resources that she has. While I have the floor,
Yes,
one more
sir.
issue. Chief, I know we were going to meet about Officer L'Oreal McDowell because I'm concerned. She recently separated from the department 4 months ago, and she's a single mother, with a child. She served in the military, and she sustained an injury. I guess her dealings was with D.C. Parish. I got to write D.C. this time. And, I want to know more about the background of why she was separated from the department, because I have here in the packet that I gave you a letter from her physician stating that she was cleared to return to duty. And she does not feel as though the department has treated her fairly. And we don't want officers who sustain injuries or have things that, to come up feel as though that they're being abandoned and left out in the cold. And I also have 3 others. I will bring those names with me. One of them's a sergeant and the other 2 are officers. They've been on the force for a long time, 20 plus years. And they have sustained injuries as well. And, they're kind of feel like they're being forced out, as though they're being forced to retire out in a way that probably would compromise them getting the full benefits for the services that they have provided to the citizens over the years. And I definitely want to get with you to address them particular individuals as well as Officer McDowell so that we can see what we can do to help them in any way that we can. We want to help them and support them.
Through the chair, would love to have that conversation, and because of course it's medical benefits, we can have that conversation in closed session and see what we can do in regards to that, and look at the totality of the circumstances and the facts. What I can tell you is that we put a lot of thought into it, and it's based off of what their physicians say in the 24 functions of that. But when members are healed and they're able to perform, I want officers, boots on the ground, to be able to go out there and protect this community. So I look forward to that, and thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Yes, and one last thing, Chair.
Yes, sir.
I just want to let the record reflect that, I'm trying to be a fair commissioner on all sides. And, I thank these 4 individual officers for coming forward to me directly, sharing their story, and put me in a position where I can't advocate for them. So, when an officer is right, they're right. When they're wrong, they're wrong. I want to make sure that we are fair. I want to also make sure if the officers feel that they're being mistreated, that we do what we can to advocate for them and to support them. And I do want the department to know that I myself do have an open door policy. If there's any way that I can be of assistance or support, or if you think I'm not giving enough support and you have advice for me, please contact me directly. Send me an email, call our staff, and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you, to meet with you and see what we can do to assist you, because assisting you is also assisting the citizens of the city of Detroit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Morris. Commissioner Williams?
Through the chair, I want to go back to the DDC. I got a question. If MDOC used to run it and you guys took it back, well, inmates, and I'm speaking from personal experience, they were allowed fans. So in their units, they had their own personal fans, or the units had fans. Why can't there be fans placed in each one of the units?
Through the chair, I'm not familiar with that right there. I know that MDOC ran it as a temporary facility, and so I don't know if they had fans, individual fans, at the DDC versus the other long-term facilities that the MDOC ran. So
I don't know if that's something that you could possibly look into. That could be a great solution.
Through the chair, the reason why we don't have fans inside the cells is for a suicide risk. We have to make sure that there's nothing there in order to do that. So even like lights, they're sealed off because we've had people try to take things apart, try to slit their wrists, things of that nature. So we try to keep the fans in the hallways, and we try to angle them so we can continue to move that air as best we can for those individuals. In addition to that, and something that I did leave out, is we always do 30-minute checks, and in some cases we do 15-minute checks. So we're constantly in front of those detainees, checking on them. When they first get put in at the DDC, we do a medical assessment, so we know medically what's going on with them. So we really try to take it to the next level compared to even how MDOC used to do it. It's completely different, but it's actually better. We really take care of our detainees.
in that right there, what DC Bliss said is definitely accurate. But know this, commissioners, the goal is that when we're done, and we're going to do something in the short term to remedy this, to make sure that they're in a good condition, but also going forth, so that next summer we're not having this conversation or addressing it. So the goal is to make sure that our jail, our detention center is the best. And so that's the commitment, and being able to do that is getting some air conditioning unit in there that works like we're comfortable in this building. So that's going to be the goal. But the cells have cameras. And one of the things that I will report out, and, report out going forth as well, is, our staff at the DDC, they're very, very diligent. They watch those cameras, and they have prevented multiple suicide attempts by watching the cameras running in there, stopping individuals from taking their lives. A detention center is a little bit different because folks can be distraught when they're arrested, and that's that period in time where they're most likely to try to take their lives. And so it's been multiple attempts where individuals tried, where my staff ran in and saved their lives. So if they were able to have a fan, a belt, or what, those types of things become very, very dangerous.
Commissioner Ivy's been trying for a long time.
I've got her on here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
We will now have Commissioner Carter, followed by Commissioner Ivy. Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian.
Thank you, through the chair. I just want to reiterate the importance of the treatment of our prisoners, or the prisoners. We were in a consent decree for a long time because of the treatment of prisoners. And I think that just based on what I've encountered this week in a building where there was no air, the air conditioning went out, inhumane for anybody to have to work under those conditions. And so I want to suggest that everyone talks to their representatives, city council, to let them know how important it is for that facility to, and the mayor, to that facility to have air conditioning, because we don't want to spend the money now, because we don't want to go back where we were and spend all of that money on a consent decree. So that's all I have to say, but we really have to do something. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Carter. Commissioner Ivey?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I just want to follow up with the update on, and if you can, the shooting that happened on Burgess Street, the condition of the young boy. Can you give us some feedback and updates on what's going on with that?
Through the chair, Commissioner Ivey, thanks for asking that. I actually went to the hospital yesterday to visit the young man. He's 7 years old, and he is talking. He is alert. He's smart. His favorite food is tacos. And I told him that when I was a young man, when I was in high school, I actually worked at Taco Bell. And so he asked me to make him tacos. So I'm going to, make sure that I keep that pledge and that promise. But his spirits was good. His mother was there, and, continuing to wrap our arms around her because, of course, she and, it was very, very traumatic for them. I do expect sometime in the very, very near future, it could be tomorrow, it could be early next week, to be able to stand at a press conference and let you know, because I told him, Jaquez, I said, I'm going to get him, because, of course, he doesn't feel safe. And so I know who they are. And, we will all, and I'll invite the commissioners as well to stand with me when we have our press conference to announce that we do have them and that they have been charged. And if you notice, I said they.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And that was going to be my next question, is coming out and supporting that press conference. And also, I do want to reach out to the family as well. So if that's permitted, I would like to do that as well.
I will provide you the mother's number.
Thank you.
And the young man, the 20-year-old who lost his life, his funeral is going to be next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I just have one more question regarding DDC. Thank you for your responsiveness to the concerns, Chief. So if someone is ill in the DDC, is there on-site medical, or are they only taken out to the hospital? Is there on-site?
We have like an on-site nurse, and so we have a nurse there. But if it's deemed where is more serious, we absolutely take them to the hospital.
Okay, so does that nurse have a room, like where he or she would see someone who's not feeling well? Is there a separate space for that?
Absolutely.
So through the chair, we have a full 24 hours, 7-day, 365 medical team that are there. There's two nurses on call, on station at all time. They have a nurse's station that is inside. It's right in the middle of the DDC, where they can prescribe medication. They do the checkups. If they bring somebody in, and when we do a medical assessment, they perform the medical assessment. We have an on-call physician that we can call at any time, and we have a nurse supervisor.
Okay, thank you so much. Through the chair. So I really liked Commissioner DeWalsh's idea of bringing in the small portable air conditioners. Not sure how many that, will be as possible, but I would recommend prioritizing that nurse's station so that if someone is ill, they at least get a moment of reprieve from the heat as they're trying to address whatever the medical issue they're having.
We will make that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm all set. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Bedison. Thank you. And before we move on, I'd also like to acknowledge the arrival of Corporate Counsel Conrad Mallett. With that, we will move on
Chairman. I promise to be brief.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'll just make it a statement, and if you wish to respond, it's fine. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge that they do keep a very good watch on the inmates, and when I was visiting the center, they showed us a video of how they had rescued somebody. Very, very, very quick response. But regarding the heat situation, I understand the complication because if you, like someone mentioned earlier, fans, obviously contain various things like blades, for instance. And even the popsicles, I'm thinking of when I was a child, and we used to make little daggers out of popsicle sticks and just, sharpen them. So obviously, that all this got to be monitored. And whenever you're bringing items into a detention facility, it gets complicated, which I suppose highlights even more so the need to have central air so there aren't objects in sensitive locations because of this. And I'm even thinking perhaps during this heat emergency we have that it might be necessary for people to be somewhere else. I don't know where that would be or how it would work, but I'm just putting it out there.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowman.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I also want to recognize the Mr. McNeil, one of the assistants to Council President Tate that's present here as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Woods.
Yep.
With that, we're going to move on to the oral communications and public comments. It is my understanding that we have 22 individuals. I know it's getting a little warm in here. We are going to allow 2 minutes for each individual. I'm going to ask that the commissioners, if you have any comments or questions, please hold them until the end so that the people that are getting up have an uninterrupted 2 minutes.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. So with that, we will have the first person for public comment.
Of course, Ms. Williams is first, then following Ms. Williams, it'll be Mr. James Ford and Mr. Alvin Stokes. I want to make sure you all can hear me because I'm so used to being hacked into when I come in here. So what's the problem? Why is it making all this noise? I'll try something different. Hold on. And please give me my minutes back, my seconds.
Could we put 2 full minutes on? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Chief, this is for you. It's not acceptable, and I'm not taking anything away from you. It's very alarming when we have ex-offenders that like to beat their women, rapists and killers, and I witnessed it last week when they coming in and out of here with their weapons. It's unbelievable. And I sit up here, I've been coming here for the last 4 years. I've never seen no judge come in here and do what they did today. This is something brand new. Because when you all get elected and the chair and vice chair, I've never seen this before. So it's a show and tell like a low budget Tubi movie. You tell me. I come here to express myself, to talk about this illegal corruption. I wasn't even aware of ex-offenders and non-American citizens on the Detroit Police Department until over a year ago. When I was at and my question was before, who idea was it to put police officers, real officers, in shelters and transitioning homes and recruit them? Like I said, we have mental ill people on this force. And it's not acceptable. And you all sit up here and you say alarm me. Scott, you sit up here like it's like all this is normal. It's a normal for ex-offenders to continue to stalk me on social media. And like I told the Fed, when you want to know what's really going on, you follow me and you're going to get down to the root of the thing. And another thing, this is for you, Chief. If they cannot do their job by the law, and I done made all these police reports, and this woman continue to harass me and bully me and come into my apartment and watch me illegally nude and mess with my... It's accountability. I can't make this up. I done made too many police reports and have nothing been done. She need her behind spanked, and I'm tired of this. That's all I got to say today. Have a good one.
Thank you, ma'am. Next. Next individual.
I'd like to say God bless everybody in here. I'm James Ford. I take my hat off to Chief Bettison and to Mary Sheffield for trying to do all they can do to make the city better. from the Obama weekend, which will be August 1st and 2nd and July 31st. It's going to be at Meatland Meats on 6 Mile and Schaefer. The Obama weekend is not political at all. It's food, beverage, and drink for everybody. You know, you cried when you lost the state fair. Everybody cried. Everybody boo-hooed. Well, now you have a chance to have your own state fair. You can do what you want to do. You can call me, and I will address your issue. I will talk to you anytime. You know, Wyandotte has a state fair. Livonia has something. Even Hamtramck have a little state fair, and they close it down. They have a good time. So, you know, let's do what we got to do. Now, at the Kentucky Derby, they're celebrating horses that's been dead for 200 years, and they celebrate Elvis, and we haven't seen him in quite a while. So we can talk about a president that's still living and doing a great job, and trying to help us now, even though he's not in office. Bring your children to the parade. Help out at the parade. Try to lend yourself. And I tell everybody, try to lend yourself. You know, most children have seen a parade. They'll talk, I've seen a parade, but they've never been in a parade. Enlighten their hearts. Let them be in a parade. I tell you this, you know, we walk around and we talk trash. Talk is cheap. Everybody can talk. Anybody can talk. All you need is some lips. But put your brain to work. Help the children out. Come to the Obama parade. Call me. Festival. Call me. Let's have our own thing. We don't have to cry. Let's do what we can do. God bless everybody and thank you. And please give me a call. 586-918-3061. You had the flyers and I will be passing them out.
Thank you, sir.
As we leave. Thank you.
Sir. Our next 3 speakers will be Yana Lynn, Minister Eric Blunt, and Anthony Kenton. Please state your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Alvin Stokes, President of Citywide Citizens Police Community Relations, and I'm here to speak on the drone program. I would like for y'all to keep an open mind when getting this report on the drone program. The numbers that the chief gave you is no fluke. They've been using the tools and everything that they can do to lower the crime here in Detroit. I spoke at City Council. You know, years ago, we were known as the murder capital of the world. Now we have people calling us trying to figure out what are we doing to lower our crime stats. This is the lowest crime our stats have been in 60 years in my lifetime. And it's all due to the work of DPD and the tools that they have to make things work. I truly believe that the drone program is a great thing to help assist us in what we're doing to make things, to lower the crime stats. You know, like I said, keep an open mind. You heard about ShotSpotter, but you didn't get the whole story. People talking about it's going to record our conversations, which is not true. They're going to say we don't have any privacy. There's protocol and procedures for everything the DPD does, and the drone program is no different. There's policy and procedures that they have to follow in order to make some things work. So because this drone is flying to a 911 call, doesn't mean it's looking in your backyard. But if you're not doing anything to worry about what the police are looking for, then you don't have to worry about the drone flying over to get to that 911 call. What happens when there's a 911 call and the police are stuck in traffic because they can't get through? That drone is able to go there to that scene and assess the scene and let us know what is actually going on. So keep an open mind when this drone program comes before you, because we're in support of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next.
Good afternoon. My name is Yana. I live in District 2. Real-Time Crime Center, Project Greenlight Surveillance Cameras Program, Facial Recognition Technology, Automated License Plate Readers, ShotSpotter Surveillance, and now they want AI-operated drones. Is this a prison or a community? Last time I checked, this was a community. Message received. DPD doesn't want to, or scared to, or lazy to do their jobs. They'd rather not thoroughly investigate missing girls. They don't want to answer for the shooting of Alonzo Lee Perkins, the 18-year-old black father who was shot in the back by DPD at the fireworks and handcuffed to a hospital bed for 6 days. 6 days before being charged. And now they want AI-operated drones to be the first responders too. None of this technology is making conditions better in Detroit. None of it has been statistically proven to decrease crime. I'll feel safe when real community organizations and solutions, not the ones that are paid for by DPD, can successfully implement prevention of crimes long term. And that starts with reallocating DPD's budget to resources that relieve families of financial burden and create culturally competent after-school programs. And we as Detroiters must organize around dismantling the very systems that is holding Detroit back from its greatness. I say no to drones and no to a police state. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hey, how you doing, board? Thank you. My name's Anthony. I'm District 1. We're talking about air conditioning in jails, and then the same week we just passed millions of dollars for Shot Spotter. So we want to put more people in jail, and we can't even keep the people in the jail okay. That's a problem. Shot Spotter, I know there's a lot of people talking about it. They're always recording. There's a case in California where they use audio of people talking in court. I don't know if the force needs to become educated on this, because I know somebody asked a question and, you know, the gunshot goes off to DPD, but it's always recording. And that data that's collected can be used by that company however they want. They could sell it, could utilize it however they want. It's just everything. And now the drones, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to put more money and more money into technology, taking away from our human awareness and being there and actually being human. So it's like, we have the Shot Spotter. Next thing you know, they're recording people in conversations. The company's selling our data. Then you got the drones, and it's like, all right, put more millions of dollars into that instead of like Yana. I agree with Yana. Why don't we really look at the root cause of all this stuff? Put some energy into that instead of just coming up with these $1 million schemes that don't work. Shot Spotter doesn't work. Chicago ended it. New York ended it. All these places are ending it. Detroit put them up another couple mil. It's like everybody is getting rid of it because it doesn't work. There's data. You could say it's a good idea, but it does not work. There's data that shows that. 12%, there's 2%, 1%. Those numbers are terrible. And it's like, what are we trying to do that's proactive and positive? This all seems like a surveillance state. It's stuff that we...
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you, sir. Minister Blunt, followed by Josh Mann and Sophia Mann.
Good afternoon, Board. I'm Minister Eric Blunt from Sacred Heart Catholic Church right here in Detroit. Commissioner Williams, thank you for at least publicly acknowledging your experience in the detention center. And maybe now we better understand why you changed your name. For the chairperson and co-chairperson, this civilian oversight is heavy lifting. It is not easy to detect and correct police officer misconduct, which is why we're here. We're not here to talk about crime. So you have the ability, through Robert's Rules of Order, to demand that the chief start out with police officer misconduct. Call for a call of order of the day and make sure he talks about things that are important for police officer misconduct, such as how many officers are on suspension, such as how many officers have resigned under charges, such as how many officers have returned from suspension, such as officer-involved shootings, such as how many times was there a use of force. These are things that we can get to the root of police officer misconduct. For the presentation today by Human Resources, it should include an OCI report on the complaints. It should include internal affairs as they investigate police officer misconduct. And it should also include risk management, that tool that supposedly is being used to detect when an officer is more likely to perform misconduct. For DDC, I got a personal tour. Thank you, Chief, for allowing that to happen. But how long?
Thank you, Reverend Blunt.
I'm not finished.
Time. Yes, sir.
Hey, Josh Mann. Good evening, Chair, or afternoon. So the ShotSpotter data shows, Detroit data shows it's a complete failure. 12% of the calls led to bullet casing recovery, 2% led to witness statements, under 1% actually led to a victim. The response time to 911 is much faster than the ShotSpotter technology. It would have been amazing to see that $2 million put into our air condition to house prisoners in a bullpen that aren't even guilty yet. They're on a 72-hour hold and they're cooking. Last week we were talking about this drone technology, and it seemed like we were more concerned with the climate-controlled pods on the rooftops of buildings than we are with our own prisoners. You know, that these pods need to be air-conditioned in the heat and warmed in the winter, but we can't even offer this to the inmates. We're going to give them popsicles, but technology that's a replaceable robot's more important. Amazon, in 2025, boasted that it's got over 1 million robots working its facility. You know the amount of Detroit citizens that have worked with Amazon that are losing their jobs. Detroit citizens that had automobiles had job opportunity through Lyft and Uber. Now Waymo is coming for their jobs. For DPD to think that this technology isn't going to come for their jobs is being very naive. These automated systems will come for their jobs. I'm for expanding DPD. We had 235 sworn-in officers in 2025. I'm hoping we can double that this year and keep those jobs here for the generations to come. And I am not against drones. I'm fully for trunk drones on officers. Give them a new talent to fly these things. Give them a new certification and a way to move up in the system by being drone operators. They could possibly find a hobby or an interest outside of work. But automated drones that respond off of rooftops or via flock cameras, I'm fully against this, and we can use our money in better ways. Thank you, and save the future for officers.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Sophia, and I'm a resident of District 6, here to urge the BOPC to vote no on the report for the use of these AI-powered drones. One of the most concerning parts of this report in the draft policy says UAVs are powered by artificial intelligence autonomous flight engines that enables unparalleled 360-degree obstacles avoidance, along with the ability to be taken control of by an FAA-licensed human pilot. This language is concerning because it implies that these drones will, as a default, be controlled solely by AI, and that the oversight of human beings is merely an optional benefit of this technology. These drones are supposed to improve our safety, but what is safe about letting AI-powered drones roam around when human intervention is merely a suggestion and not a requirement? While DPD is trying to portray this technology as a tool that will make us safer, the reality is that they have not been transparent about the role that AI has in controlling these drones, and they have not provided the public with enough information on how our privacy is going to be protected once this technology is implemented. And if DPD truly intended to make Detroiters safer, then they would not be spinning the story and running cover for the officer who last week profiled and shot 18-year-old Alonzo Lee Perkins in the back multiple times while he was running away from the very officer who shot him. 2 weeks ago, it was ShotSpotter. 2 days ago, it was ShotSpotter, and now it's these drones. And DPD continues to ask for more and more surveillance technology paid for with our taxpayer dollars when they won't even use the most basic surveillance that they have, which is their body cam footage, to hold themselves accountable to protect us from future brutalizations. Thank you.
Our next three speakers would be Mott Johnson, Denise Lyles, and Tawana Connors.
Good evening. My name is Matt. So first, I want to discuss the jail situation. Just a quick summary of what could temporarily help. We could just give the inmates ice cubes, 2 ice cubes. They can't commit suicide. It's a very easy fix that you can literally implement today. But I'm here to talk more so about the drones and the flock cam footage. Flock advertises these cameras as simple, well, I'm talking over more so about drones and flock as a whole. Flock advertises these cameras as simple license plate readers. They're AI-powered surveillance machines that capture every passing vehicle and person and transmits that data to a private corporate cloud that's available to multiple state and federal agencies. The city of Detroit does not control the database, and Detroit residents have no public record rights against the private company or servers. Now consider who's behind the company and where your data is going. Flock is a direct integration with Palantir, which is a data fusion platform with a $30 million contract with ICE. Public records have revealed that Flock has been secretly running a program giving the U.S. Border Patrol access to local police cameras data without the knowledge of the cities that actually paid for said cameras. Flock is deemed unconstitutional for a multitude of reasons. The most concerning factor is the cameras shift the burden of proof to the vehicle owner to prove my innocence rather than the state to prove me being guilty. In other words, you're guilty by default, which is determined by a computer program. Usually this process is determined by an officer pulling me over and witnessing myself in the driver's seat. AI cameras.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
The time is up. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Denise Lyles. First and foremost, congratulations, Chairperson, Vice Chair, our District 5 Commissioner. Congratulations. I guess I'm going to be the one that's a little different today. Normally, you hear people complaining about what the officers do, problems that we have with DPD. Well, today I'm coming to spotlight an officer that did something right. If we sit up and talk about when they do something wrong, we need to be able to stand up when they do something right. Last Thursday, I had a unique individual hit my car, started going off on me, and when my neighbors ran up, and I'm telling them, no, I'm okay. Just call the police, call 911, call 10th Precinct. Then the woman just took off. So I'm sitting there, and I have an autistic daughter. Most of y'all that know me know I have an autistic daughter. It was 5 minutes from when her bus was due to come home. So I left the scene. The lady had already left that hit me. So I left, and I spoke with Commander Rodriguez at 10th Precinct, telling him, hey, I left, I came home because her bus is coming. And he was like, no, I've already heard it on the scanner. They were in shift change, but they should be there shortly. Needless to say, I was flustered, okay? This officer, Jay Pitts, parking enforcement, was phenomenal. I can't even talk now. He was fantastic. I was just flustered, worried about being there for my child. This woman just hit my new vehicle and took off. And as I said, I was just flustered. He was patient, he was calm, and I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, it's okay. It's all right, ma'am, I'm here, it's okay. So when we talk about the bad stuff they do, be ready to talk about the good stuff they do. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker.
Ms. Connors, Mr. Rue, and Ms. Pannell.
Next speaker.
Mr. Ruckel, please.
You should be just by. Yeah.
You may speak, sir.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just make this short and sweet for the whole 2 minutes. The city is corrupt, corrupted as F. Now, over here is Grant High. He called over to the law department when I first started investigating the cover-up of the cover-up. Before the cover-up of the cover-up of Kanisha Coleman's murder. See, Grant, you and Mike Mueller played a game with me. And what I did was, I dug deep. And when I dug deep, I found out
Sir, I need for you to...
about this man. Well, you need to be quiet. I got 2 minutes to talk, right?
You need to speak to the chair.
Okay, well, to the chair, I believe you one of the cheated in people, and you there appointed by a cheated in person. Now, Dennis, a friend of mine since I was a teenager, had a WDIV, Channel 4 last night. He had viewing with Mary Sheffield, the new mayor of the city of Detroit, and Brian White, the one that answered 18 phone calls about the lots behind my mother's house, the ones that Michael Edward Duggan had moved to the Jobs and Amenities Development Assemblage Program. Do you know anything about that, Chair? Now, over there is Jerome Warfield, the scoundrel. Yeah, you got to go. As a matter of fact, all the elected officials in the city of Detroit got to go because Janet's been cheating in elections, I believe, for 15 years. I can only prove and demonstrate since 2020. And I am the one who got the information to Donald Trump. He's not lying. He was cheated on in Detroit, Michigan in 2020, as well as 2024.
Sir, your time is up. Thank you.
Your time up, too.
After Ms. Pannell, it'll be Cortez Marion. And then we'll go into Zoom.
Good evening. My name is Miss P. They don't call me Pannell. I got 3 things. First of all, Chief, I voted for you to have spot shotter because 2 years ago, they shot a dog. 2nd precinct was at my door saying, Miss P, who shot that dog? I thought I didn't know. But they came. That was 2 years ago before this went down.
Ma'am, speak to the chair,
I'm
please.
sorry. You know I don't talk much, so when I talk, I want to talk. 2nd precinct, we missing a sergeant and a captain and 2 police officers. They short over there. And anybody that got Alexa and Siri, the government already listening to you. You worried about all this other mess. You need to worry about Alexa and Siri because they already know your business. I had 2 sons in the government. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker.
Cortez.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Cortez. I'm from District 7. I just want to vote no and here to show no support on AI drones, AI power drones. Like the gentleman said earlier, it's a really good idea if the officers learned how to fly them themselves, but we really do not, like the civilians and the people who actually live in these districts are voicing that we do not want to feel policed, patrolled, surveilled by anything AI. There was another gentleman up here earlier who said something about there are procedures in place for everything. I've been on the receiving end of officers not following procedures tons of times, more times than I could count. So I do not trust any AI or any officer that's over AI. I believe that they need to be out here restoring trust with the people in the communities on the street. And because they don't want to do that, the trust is just gone. And that's all I need to say.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Mr. Chair, we're going to go into Zoom. Our first speaker will be Ms. Tawana Petty, followed by Joanna.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Surveillance ain't safety. Research has proven this time and time again. Despite this, Detroit city government has invested an inordinate amount of money into dystopian surveillance technologies. We are overrun with surveillance cameras, surveillance helicopters, facial recognition technology, surveillance traffic cameras, cell phone tracking, ShotSpotter, and now DPD and city government want to expand their drone network to include artificial intelligence. Vote no on drones. Vote no on expanding artificial intelligence. Vote no on a continued procurement and deployment of mass surveillance in this city, and vote yes on a future that prioritizes Detroiters' dignity and humanity. We know what keeps communities safe: when residents of all ages feel seen, when resources are abundant, when families can afford food, water, utilities, and housing. Those communities are safer. Those communities do not suffer from quality of life issues. Therefore, they suffer less from quality of life crime. Please stop dismissing legitimate concerns by accusing us of having something to hide. Please stop playing on the fears of our elders and those who have been victimized by a system that prioritizes profit over people. Detroiters have been through enough pain, living in a panoptic city where we're constantly watched but rarely seen as full human beings is not a remedy for our pain. We should not be pursuing a future that sees us as an arsenal of democracy. History has already taught us this lesson. We are still suffering from Detroit being remapped as a tool of war and then discarded by industry. We cannot allow our city to continue to devolve into a billionaire tech oligarch playground. We are human beings who deserve to be seen as something other than subjects to be surveilled, targeted, and tracked. Please do the right thing. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Joanna, District 7, and I would also like to say I do not agree with ShotSpotter or the drone. The ShotSpotter did nothing when the bullet came straight through my son, through my back home, through my son's room, through to the kitchen. That case has not been solved. So I say no for the ShotSpotter as well as the drone. I agree with the 2nd precinct. We need officers. We are down a sergeant. We have Officer Eves, community relation, who's doing a great job for Littlefield Eden Block Club, but he's only one officer, and he's also being pulled to, I appreciate what you're doing, Chief, as well as you and the mayor and everything that you're doing, but officers are being pulled from the streets to these events, and we need officers to make sure the streets are protected as well as the events as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Our next speaker will be Ms. Tara Brown, and followed by Mr. Jadante Smith.
Good evening, Commission. Congratulations to District 5's Beverly Watts and Robert Jones on their new chair and co-chair positions. Take a look at your neighbor and tell them, I am the chair or I am the co-chair. Don't start off with letting people interrupt your job and do your job for you. You are the chair, you are the co-chair. Please do your job and silence your fellow commissioners when they're talking out of turn or still trying to be the chair or co-chair. Instead of advocating for popsicles and fans for the people over there incarcerated in the jail, why not have discussions with the people y'all go to church with and hobnob and socialize and take pictures with and talk to them about no cash bail and talk to them about tethers and things like that to get rid of the overcrowding in the jail so those people can sit at home and wait for their trial on tethers. The jail, if this is a problem, you need a solution, and fans and popsicles and all that are not a solution for everybody because realistically, some of those people incarcerated are innocent. Some of those people incarcerated are there for driving with a suspended license and traffic tickets and such, waiting on court dates or not having the bond to get out. Those are things that need to be addressed. No, I am not for this drone technology. I am also not for this ShotSpotter technology. As the woman pointed out, we can't even get y'all to use body cams, but y'all want to run out here here with drones and shot spotters. Those things don't solve cases. They aid in solving cases. You have to go out there and actually do the work. When ShotSpotter doesn't turn up any information about who shot somebody, the case just goes dead. We need boots on the ground police officers out there doing their job. And another thing, Scotty Bowman had some legitimate questions that a lot of people were interested in. And we sat here and listened to how people in jail didn't have fans and popsicles, but he was immediately shut down. His job is oversight. He is elected. Nobody that's been appointed should be shutting him down. Again, Beverly Watts, again, Robert Jones, do your job.
Next speaker.
Good afternoon. I want to echo those sentiments. Scotty Bowman has some great questions, and to my elected commissioners, Beverly Watts, I love for you to do your job, and also for you, Chairman Jones, congratulations, but I love for you to do your job when it comes to not letting, I just call it out, Darrell Woods, shut people down. So I want to say to Conrad Mallett, this is a little bit off kilter, but you said to me in the Board of Police Commissioners meeting a few months back, you said, why don't you let the Maroons shut down the streets and open up their concrete mixing factory that should be illegal to even run because they're poisoning the community? And I'll go on record and say you said that, and I'll force you to sue me if you say that I'm lying. It's not what you can prove. It's not what happens, what you can prove in court. I love to see you prove me wrong, because you said a lot of foul things, Mr. Mallett. I'm coming for that license. You should not be able to sit on this board and rule over things like ShotSpotter for the Board of Police Commissioners, then also advise City Council. I had a meeting with you on that meeting yesterday, and I understand why they put you on that meeting, to try to get a rouse out of me. So you're advising City Council, you're the lawyer for the Board of Police Commissioners, you're the chief lawyer for the City of Detroit, and you are presiding over all these cases, and you're also usurping the power of any lawyer for the Board of Ethics. So you're preventing any elected official who does malfeasance, or any city employee who does malfeasance, from properly being held accountable because of your positions and your reach. Also, Officer Deion Dawson needs to be fired from the Detroit Police Department. No way he should be able to threaten a civilian, especially a former domestic partner, with shooting him in the head and still be able to keep his job. There was a full article on officers who were convicted of domestic violence, including one of the officers who worked with Deputy Chief Hope. He was one of the faces of that article. So I think we need to do a little bit more when it comes to oversight, and we need to look into the PPO process, or the Detroit Police Department, and those policies. I think we have a lot of issues. There may be some good officers, not maybe, there are some good officers, but this is for oversight. This is for the ones who are doing bad. To the lady who said, talk about the good. These is for the...
Our last two speakers are Ms. Tanya Jackson, caller with the last three digits, 973.
Good afternoon. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can.
We is in month 9 of me speaking on Officer Deion Dawson. Jadante have been speaking on this officer for the past 9 months. To hear that he's about to be placed back on the street after 5 days off, 2 days on, what is y'all really trying to do? Y'all don't understand how serious this matter is. We 9 months in, there's no resolutions. Y'all keep BSing me, giving me the runaround. Nobody is being honest. I talked to the chief personally in February. I wish you was there when I came in person, when I wanted to speak to you, to the chief or to the chair, whoever. When that officer killed me and you come to that scene, is you gonna remember talking to me? Is you gonna remember my face? This is unacceptable. Y'all trying to fight hard for bad officers. What about the good officers that Detroit do have? We do have some good officers. Deion Dawson at precinct 6 on Plymouth and Warwick should not be able to be a police officer. Never in life. So when he act on it, what y'all gonna do? I filed another PPO. When they grant the PPO, what y'all gonna send them down again? It's unacceptable. It's disgusting. I'm a woman. I should not have to live like this. I should not have to keep begging y'all. Every meeting I'm on Zoom or I'm in person, I'm begging. What y'all gonna do about this officer? The fact that y'all even about to put him on the street is a slap in the face. What y'all gonna do when Officer Deion Dawson killed me? Nobody can answer that. Nobody can give me an answer. What y'all gonna do? Who's going to tell my children when another PPO get put on them? Then what? Y'all gonna sit them down? Y'all gonna sit them down
Our last caller. Our last caller.
Yeah, before the last caller, I need to acknowledge Chief Bettison.
Through the chair, with the last caller talking about Deion Dawson, we've heard this, and it's rather alarming when you hear the caller. But as we know, it's always another side and more context. And typically, we like to have these meetings in a closed session. But the particular caller, I did meet with her. I have talked to her. And I have taken action because it was another officer that she was in a relationship with that back on January 29th, this was Officer Dorsett. He actually lost his job. I let him go. I fired him, but he was in a relationship with her. And he was fired for lying. And now we're talking about Officer Deion Dawson. I'm going to ask Officer Battersby just to come to the microphone really quick. Did a little bit of research because this is quite alarming, and the community needs to know as well, so that you have the whole thing in context. Officer Battersby, give a little bit more background into what's going on with the situation to update the community.
Yeah, through the chair, obviously, I come to every meeting. I represent the chief's office, and I dig into a lot of these events that you guys asked me to dig into. Digging into this because I've heard some disturbing things from one side. Going back, like the chief said, found out that this caller who just called, and I'm not going to mention the officer's name because we all know what his name is, but she was in a prior relationship with an officer that she met on duty through a domestic violence run. That she had a PPO against her child's father, who she was accused of malicious destruction of property, which she was on probation for. It got so bad with the officer that the chief let go, he had to file a PPO against the same female. And to an incident where this female and her friend drove to this officer's house, keyed the officer's other girl's car. They have her on Ring camera. They have her going up and down the street for 10 minutes blowing the horn. And yes, there was a police report made with Redford PD. And then she gets in a relationship with Mr. Dawson. Well, there was 4 accusations made, and I've got all the reports if you'd like to sit down in closed sessions, and I'll be glad to review them with all of you. She showed up at Mr. Dawson's house, and he was smart enough not to answer the door. She ripped his mail, she destroyed his lighting in the front of his house, and threw a brick through his back window. The police were called, a report was made, and in turn, she said he slashed her tires. No evidence made. Phone was tracked. So there's a lot of evidence pointing one way, not the other. If any of you commissioners would like to sit down and review this information, I'd be glad to review it with you, because I sit here every week and hear the same thing over and over again.
Thank you.
I have a comment.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, let's get the last caller.
Last caller with the last 3 digits, 973. Can you unmute?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you to the chair. It's been a lot to absorb during this meeting today. And to Chief Bettison, you're doing a good job. I know it's hard work, what you're doing in the community, but thank you. And to the DPD officers. I do want to comment on the young lady. The bottom line, and I know they both probably need to go before a judge. I do hear her passion. Regardless of that, no man should put his hands on another female. Now, I don't know all the particulars to the case. I know we stood in for this young lady a few weeks ago as women. especially with me about to teach on violence against women, especially Black women, and what we're seeing, I would say with the young lady to hopefully a judge can get involved with both parties, and maybe both parties, there should be a PP or order against, just for they to protect each other. Because eventually, if it's not dealt with, I do thank Chief Bedison for intervening before. But I told the young lady we are praying for her. Also, I do want to comment, I do thank Chief Bedison and DPD officers because that July 4th could have been worse. It is unfortunate for the young man. Nobody wants anyone shot, but it could have led to greater, I'm around gun violence in terms of seeing it in the hospital when the gun's blowing off their stomach, the accident. So it's a public health crisis. Shot spotter, maybe it can get better, but you can't, Detroit is a high violence city. It is, with a lot of shootings, so something needs to be done. So I do support DPD with that. I also want the board to just still investigate the case when the gentleman was sweeping in front of the church and the officer stopped him. He wasn't doing anything, because believe me, there's plenty of violent work to do in the city. So I would like to know, maybe you can share, is that going to lead into a lawsuit where the city has to pay out millions of dollars? So that's my comment. Chief Bedison, good job, because I know it's not easy.
Mr. Chair, there's one more caller.
Okay.
Zoom user. Can you unmute?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to make a comment about the shot spotter. I wanted to know if we're going to spend $2 million for 9 months to extend a contract, have we looked at making a suggestion to maybe reduce the amount of money that we're giving to CVI? Because it seems like we need a lot of attention around the aftermath of what happens. And we're paying CVIs a lot of money for 6 groups to get from taxpayers, not for someone to actually sit there and say, hey, we need to make some cuts somewhere else so that this can be afforded by the taxpayers. But when you guys arbitrarily just spend money and don't make any suggestions for cuts in other areas, that's showing us that we're just overspending. It sends us in a spiral event towards bankruptcy all over again. This is too much spending on things that we could be using for increasing our police population. I'm over in District 3, and I have no officers over here watching these people come up and down a one-way street that's going to be a tragic accident very soon. We have illegal dumping everywhere, people dropping tires off all in our neighborhood, and we're spending money on things that we could get funding for somewhere else. Why do you guys keep proposing to spend taxpayer dollars for this? I'm not saying none of your programs or none of the resources you want to use work or do not work. But if you want things that the public is against, find different funding for it. Show us that you care enough to allocate the funds properly. It seems like we're doing some type of money grab on all these different programs, and everyone is like 50-50. We're divided, and it continues to divide us. Can you please look into some allocation and recommendations for spending? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that is your last speaker.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, we will have a presentation to the board. We have Human Resources DPD HR Director Katrina Patillo.
Good afternoon, through the chair. I'll be presenting the HR report for the month of, it's for June, but it's the reporting statistics for May. So during that time, the department was currently filled at 94% staffing. For sworn, they were at 96%. They had 107 vacancies with a 4% vacancy rate. For civilian professional staff, they were 88% filled with 102 vacancies, 12% vacancies. So for sworn recruiting numbers, during July 1st, 2025 to May 31st of 26, had a total of 4,972 applicants, 1,141 in process, 183 withdrew, 2,044 archived, with a total of 303 Hire temporary disqualified 688, permanently disqualified 432, and awaiting MCOS testing was 357. For the MCOS testing for the written test, we had scheduled 93, we had 47 that appeared, 28 that passed, 60% passing rate. 19 failed, that was 40% failure rate with 46 no-shows. And for physical agility, we had a total of 107 scheduled, 57 appeared, 37 passed, which was 65%, 20 failed, 35%, and 50 no-shows. For Academy graduates, we had a class that graduated of 42, one being DFD arson. For new hires, for the total month for May, we had a total of 26, that was 26 civilians. For Detroit residency, as of May, we had a total of 580 sworn. These are for Detroiters, 363 civilians with 9 police assistants. For non-Detroiters, 1,988 sworn, 415 civilians and 9 police assistants. Of those numbers, for the new hires, for civilian professional staff, we had a total of 13 Detroit residents. For our student interns, we have a total of 17, that was in May. For attrition, we had a total of 41, 23 sworn that separated, and 17 civilians and 1 police assistant. For our leaves of absences, for FMLA continuous, we have a total of 11 for sworn, 3 for civilian. That's continuous. For FMLA intermediate, we have a total of 109 sworn, 82 civilian. Those on paid parental leave, we have a total of 11 sworn, 1 civilian. Medical leave, 3 each of sworn and civilian. Military leave, we have a total of 10 sworn, 1 civilian. Restricted, it was down to 50 sworn, 5 civilians. Disabled, 29 sworn, 1 civilian. Sick, 33 sworn, 7 civilians. Suspensions, we had a total of 19 police officers, 1 sergeant. For monthly separation, total of 23, 19 police officers, 2 sergeants, 1 lieutenant, 1 assistant chief. And for our drop program, we have a total of 439. In addition to that, we just started an academy class on this past Monday. We had a total of 32. And then on Monday, we will also have 60 new students that will be here completing our 6-week intern program, and more than half of those will be participating in our DPD Prep Academy. Pending any questions, that's all I have.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the commissioners?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Director Patillo, for your report. There is a chart on, I can't tell what page this is, but this is the demographic report for May 2026 in your report. And I see here where the positions are broken out. You have executive commanders, captains on down to police assistants. Is it possible to use the same format to show currently in the department Detroit residents and non-Detroit residents?
For the civilians, I probably have to get the city of Detroit to pull those stats, but I can try. So I won't say that it's not possible, but I can try.
Okay, and you raise a good point. So I would like to see it broken out by civilian and sworn as well, in addition to the categories that you have listed here. But thank you.
So the civilians necessarily would not have the titles by it because there's different classifications of jobs.
Understood.
But they don't, I don't think it can be broken out like that, but you're just asking for.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So the sworn can be broken out like this. Is that what you're saying through the chair?
You talking about so we gave you the demographic report. So how are you?
Commissioner, what chart are you looking at?
She's looking at this chart. It says demographic report for May. So in that report, it basically gives you all the demographics, and it says executives, commanders, captains, lieutenants, sergeants, investigators, detectives, police officers, and police assistants. Is that the one you're asking?
Through the chair, yes, that's correct. And this is a racial demographic chart, correct, though. So I was looking for that same format for Detroit residents versus non-Detroit resident. But then you mentioned the civilian as well. So it would be good to see that. I'm not sure how they would be broken out or if that's even necessary to break the civilians out. So at least for the sworn in these different rank categories, with the Detroit residents and 9, and then for the civilians, Detroit resident and 9.
So I can see I'll have to come back to you on that.
Okay, and we can talk offline if you want to discuss it further. But I think that's important for us to look at. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Commissioner Walsh?
Yes, I just haven't, thank you, Chair. I just have an observation, and maybe you can give me an idea of why this is trending this way. I noticed that now we have, as it relates to Detroit residents for total sworn, it's like 22%. And I remember, like maybe last year sometime, looking at it, and I thought it was like closer to 30%. It seems to be trending towards non-Detroit residents. Is there a reason? I mean, I know we're making every effort to recruit in Detroit, in the city, and at different schools in the city, different churches, et cetera, but is it trending that way? Because are these people, officers that are already on the force that may have come in as Detroit officers, but then moved while they're officers?
So these numbers capture everyone that's in the department, so all the...
So it's current and new recruits?
It's everyone.
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious as to what we're doing. I would like to see more Detroit, obviously Detroit residents, and I know that has always been our effort.
So we're recruiting everyone, everywhere. I mean, I think you all see all of our billboards are actually in Detroit. We have a robust, heavy advertising and media for that. We actually, everything's on social media. We work with our DPD media team as well. So we're everywhere in Detroit trying to recruit. We're at the high schools, we're at the colleges, we're at different organizations. So we're doing everything that we can do to recruit Detroiters.
Okay, that was one of my questions. Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Chair, if I could. We have, in your report, you talk about a number of archived applicants. Now I'm looking at the recruiting report, 2,044 that are archived, and then 357 that are awaiting MCOs. And those would be what results?
So some of those awaiting the MCOs could be awaiting for the testing. So they have to have certain information in order for us to schedule them for testing. So we can get them scheduled for the written test, the physical agility test, and things like that.
Okay, so is it the total of those two together?
No, that's separate. So you said the total archive, so they could be archived for a certain reason. So if they did not send in specific information that we need to push them further along, rather than disqualify them, we could archive them until they get us that information.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand, like, you have a number, 1,141 that are in process. So that means
they're somewhere in the process for recruiting. So that could be written test, physical agility test, background. It could be just starting the application. They're somewhere in the process.
And so they're part of the 2,044? Are they included
No,
in that
so
number?
just keep in mind, these stats are for almost a whole year.
Okay.
So these are, the whole period goes from last fiscal year to the last day of May 31st. These are individuals that fell within this, those categories of the whole year. So in processing mean they were in the processing number through the 11 steps that it takes to get all the way through for recruiting.
Okay, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is we have thousands of applicants that we can actually look for a class of 30, right? I mean, that we can actually select from. And I'm trying to understand, of those 1,000, can we prioritize people that are Detroiters out of those 1,000, or is that not allowed? I'm asking that question.
So applicants apply, we process them as they apply.
Okay. All right, but we can't prioritize Detroit legally, right? Is that, okay, I guess I'm just asking. It just seems like we have thousands of applicants for 30 positions every couple of months, I guess, or every month. How many?
So also just keep in mind, when they're in background, there's certain things that we need from the applicants as well to help push them along. Some of the applicants don't always return all the information in a timely manner to get it to where we need them to continue on with the processing. So those individuals are still counted in that processing number.
Okay.
So they have to make it all the way through all the 11 steps of recruiting in order to get hired successfully and pass all those requirements.
Okay, so then if you, Mr. Chair, I'm just trying to understand the numbers. So if these thousands of applicants could be more than a year on the list?
So at some point, they will go into archive. If they don't respond to get us everything that we need, or let's just say, for instance, they don't pass a certain portion of it, at some point, those individuals will move either to an archive or to a disqualification.
Okay, but
yes, they are looked at. So we look at every single stage of it to try to reach out to them to make sure that they're on track with recruiting. Some of the individuals could be some of the individuals where they need to, that maybe let's just say they haven't passed the physical agility test. We work out with them to make sure that we put them through their fit camp so they would stay in that fit number. So yes, we do look at this in processing, and we continue to work with those applicants. So, but
my question then is, do they stay over 1 year, or is
No.
it okay, so by the end of the fiscal year, you're going to drop that number and start over again?
yes, so when this fiscal year comes, starting July 1st, you will see new numbers.
Okay.
So this is just telling you this is what the numbers for all the way through May. So when you get next month's report, it will be from July of last year to June of this year. This is everyone who would have fell in these categories for the entire year.
All right.
So
thank you for that. Thank you,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Chair.
Any other questions or comments for Director Patillo? Thank you.
Thank you.
Presentation now from Second Deputy Chief Grant Hall.
Good afternoon, through the chair.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The board has requested the department provide a presentation in regards to the Criminal Justice Information Services Security Policy. So as you know, the FBI CJIS policy, security policy, is a policy that mandates and governs a law enforcement agency's ability to receive, use, manage, store, and disseminate criminal justice information. The security policy on a national level, the oversight is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and on the state level is the Michigan State Police. Failure to comply with the security policy can result in sanctions. Also, it may include jail time, but for the agency itself, it would result in us being completely separated from the use of the CGI systems. So what is criminal justice information? It's information obtained by law enforcement agencies or law enforcement officers for the purposes of criminal investigations. Some examples of the databases that law enforcement agencies have access to is the LEAN system, which is the Law Enforcement Information Network, and the Criminal History Record Information, which is CHRI. And then we also get data from the National Crime Information Centers. So that's some of the examples of the databases that we utilize in law enforcement. Who can access it? Only law enforcement officers working for law enforcement agencies investigating criminal crimes. Are there any questions?
Commissioner Bowman?
Yeah, hi. What really inspired the request for presentation on this matter was the loss of direct access to body-worn camera footage, or video, I should say, and the fact that public may have wanted to understand how it is that we get in that situation. And the relationship between CJIS and that has been fairly well explained to us in a context where we were not necessarily at liberty to repeat things, and in private meetings. I had hoped that this presentation today would take care of that the public would then hear the relationship between these two things, and I have heard absolutely no mention of anything about how this is related to our access to body-worn camera footage. I would like to hear about that.
So Commissioner Bowman, that was not the request that was made to me yesterday. I was just asked to explain what CJIS was and what CGI data was. If you'd like me to explain to the general public in regards to the current state of CJIS and the Board of Police Commissioners' access to CJIS, I can tell you right now. MSP did an audit, and after MSP's audit, MSP informed the Detroit Police Department that the Board of Police Commissioners are not a law enforcement agency. The Board of Police Commissioners are not law enforcement officers, ergo, they should not have access to CJIS material. We appealed the matter and went to the FBI, and the FBI opined and concurred with MSP and concurred that the Board of Police Commissioners are not a law enforcement agency, are not comprised of law enforcement officers, and shall not have access to CGI. And that's the end of the story. I don't know what else you want me to explain.
You enumerated, through the chair.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You enumerated a number of things that were part of CJIS that we use. The body-worn camera footage belongs to the Detroit Police Department, and that is what I was asking about.
Okay, specifically in regards to body-worn camera, you are not entitled to the full body-worn camera because there are potential CGI information. So if an officer is actively searching the CGI database, so if they're searching in regards to lien and the body-worn camera happens to capture the lien information, that has to be removed and you cannot have access to it.
Thank you.
Woods? Yeah, and let it be clear that the Office of Chief Investigator have access to the body-worn camera. There's at this point redacted or blurred, if you would, that part of it, but they are the full body-worn camera they have access to. Is that correct?
They have access to body-worn camera after it's been redacted by law enforcement.
But
after it removes the CGI data.
What I'm asking is that nothing is taken out of there.
No, it's redacted.
And the redaction is it a blur if the camera captures that one aspect of it, but nothing is cut out?
No, nothing is cut out.
That's what I'm asking. Since nothing is cut out of the body-worn camera, it is the full body-worn camera footage. But if they so happen to be on and it continues to be a work in progress. This has been a cumbersome process, and it's a living situation, and I'm sure it's a lot of politics in it. As it relates to who's the president, who's running the FBI, who's in charge at the time, and I suspect things would change far as in the federal government, because you're talking about since 1974, this entity has access to CJIS information. They get trained in it and things of that nature. I don't want to belabor that. The fact of the matter is we appreciate the chief fighting all the way up to the governor, and even the mayor's office going to the governor herself on this particular issue. And so it's not this thing is not finalized as people would suggest it is, because we continue to fight and work hard to make sure that they have unfettered access to the information and in ways that things can be redacted through Motorola, which is the software company, so we're not just lying down and it's not improvements happen on a consistent basis as relates to this.
And
Thank you.
if I may, through the chair,
Yes, sir.
I echo what Commissioner Woods has said, that as we work together to be, and one of the words that you hear me say all the time is A&D, and. How can we provide you what you need to do your job as the Office of the Chief Investigator to fulfill your duties? And how can we be in compliance with the requirements through CJIS? And so that is the working mission goal, and to be able to do it effectively and expeditiously and utilize technology to make it not so cumbersome. And so I'm committed to working continuously to improve it with Chief Investigator Warfield and with this board, but with the redaction, being able to ensure that the board has that video, the full video, except for the blur when it comes to something that's deemed to be CJIS issue. Now, do I like this? Absolutely not. I don't like it, but I'm compelled.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you, DC High, for the presentation. Appreciate that. And I also appreciate the chief and the department for working with OCI to work through this workaround that is unfortunately the space that we're in right now. I do want to make sure that we do continue to talk about this because, as my colleague mentioned, everything is ongoing, right? Like, that's why laws evolve, that's why policies evolve, and they do because we continue to press and make clear that what may have served us in the past does not serve us today. And the CJIS policy obviously doesn't serve us today in the environment that we are in the United States, with so many oversight agencies across the country, and a policy that doesn't allow the access through the chair to DC High. So in the CJIS policy, there is a space for non-criminal justice agencies, kind of like a special exception area. They're called NCJAs, that are legally authorized to access CJIS systems and criminal justice information for specific civil purposes. Are you familiar with that section?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. I took a look at that, and unfortunately, oversight agencies are not included in that list, but I think that that's an area that we can explore as we look at advocating to update policies to the current state of the United States, where we have these oversight agencies that the people have entrusted to do this work. This looks like a good place to go after to make sure we can correct this. Thank you for the presentation today.
That's it, Commissioner.
That's it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll move on. Report from the board secretary.
Mr. Chair, through the chair, if board members, you would refer to your tab 6 today, the weekly reports are there, 6A and B, the memorandum from the Personnel Training Committee meeting that was held on June 30th, as well as the memorandum from the Ad Hoc Committee, which was held on yesterday. The announcements for today are as follows. The next board meeting next week, Thursday, July 9th, 6:30 p.m. will be the July community meeting, 6th Precinct, Greater Burnett Church, located at 16801 Schoolcraft in Detroit. The August community meeting will be held Thursday, August 13th, 6:30 p.m. And the board will be in the 5th Precinct on that day at Wayne County Community College District Eastern Campus. which is located at 5901 Connor Street in Detroit. And one last announcement on behalf of the Board of Police Commissioners. There are refreshments in one of the rear rooms as you turn around the left room in the back for anyone here to partake. And that ends the report for today, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for Secretary, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Through the chair to Madam Secretary, do you have an update? Has the report, has the public statement that the board approved at the June 18th meeting, a public statement regarding the release or the loss of access to, or direct access to the body-worn camera footage, has that been released to the public or the media? What's the status on that statement?
Mr. Chair, through the chair, the public statement was transferred officially to the Commissioner's BOPC stationery, and I believe we are waiting for the final approval from Do It, and as soon as it's actually posted, it will be there. However, that statement was within the board materials that were posted for the particular meeting where it was approved. So in that format, it's out there, but as soon as we understand that it's approved in, as you know, the ADA accommodated format, I will alert the board.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Yes, sir, Commissioner Morris.
Yes, Madam Secretary, I was contacted by an individual. His name is Deontay Warlode. He said that he sent in a appeal request to BOPC office regarding his application for employment. DPD not approving it, and he wants to appeal it. It was sent to the board. Can we get a status update on where we are with getting him scheduled to come before the board so we can address that?
Mr. Chair, through the chair,
Yes.
we will review that at the completion of the meeting. I am not familiar with that name. The process presently is that when we receive those appeals, because there's several steps, they come in, they are presented to me because we send a memo to HR, DPD HR, to receive the records. And normally they would come, if there's no extenuating situation with it, it comes in as incoming communication. As you know, as they come in, they appear on incoming communication as soon the week that we receive them. But I will follow up with that name. I'll be very honest, I'm just not familiar with that.
Well, I remember it's been about going on 6 months, and I understand the process. I want a status update as to where we are in the process, and so we can see what we need to do to get that process moving along so his appeal can be heard. He's been very patient, so we definitely want to make sure that we do what we need to do so that his appeal can be heard by the board.
If I may, through the chair, you have confirmed that he sent it in, and we know what date?
Correct. It was in June, according to my text message. It was in June when he first inquired. I did give him your phone number, and he reached out to you, and you assisted him in starting the process on it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, you got Commissioner Wood.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I know, I see that we have a public hearing on here, and as far as the unfinished business, I want to see how long it may be. I think it might be prudent for us to, I want to make a motion to postpone this until, let's, I don't know. Well, let me just say, I'm making a motion to postpone the unfinished business as far as the public hearing and the motion for the specification report.
Chairman,
Yes, ma'am, Madam Parliamentarian.
You cannot postpone
I'm
a whole
finished.
category of business. You
Okay.
have to postpone those individually.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, well, if is this not a pressing matter or things of that nature, for the sake of time, but I think my colleague want to chime in.
Yeah, I wanted to,
Chair.
I honestly, because,
Commissioner Morris?
oh, thank you, sorry, Chair.
Yes, sir.
I believe that this same hearing that we're having is going to be the same one that's going to end up in the city council. So the individuals will still have a chance to be heard. I would put forth a motion to remove it from the agenda, period, and not bring it back.
I'll second it.
Support.
All right, there has been a motion made. I'm sorry, Madam Parliamentarian.
What you're actually doing is amending the agenda. After the agenda has been adopted, any amendment to it requires 2/3 vote. There are 10 of you, so 7 would have to vote in favor of amending the agenda to remove this item.
Thank you, I was just making some notes here. So,
Officer Ha, I don't know if you had something to say.
Any
Or
discussion?
DC Ha.
He good. He good.
Well,
hold on one second. Oh, he's just in. Commissioner Morris?
Well, because for clarity, it's not, I know we got everything going on with the drones. It's just the aspect with the hearing comes the public comments. And that's the part, they're going to get a chance to make public comments in relations to this at city council. So there's no sense in tying up us and city council when their voices will be heard. So we're ready to, I think we're ready to move forward with the drone aspect.
Yeah.
All right, so, and Madam Parliament, let me do this. We've got a motion that has been moved and supported, and I'd like to go ahead and we'll open it up and Madam Parliamentary, we can move into discussion at this point on the motion.
I believe that the proper motion, rather than amending the agenda, would be, well, actually, it is still amending.
Right.
But the proper motion would be, if I'm understanding, the parliamentarian's understanding, the commissioners, would be to rescind this item. In other words, erase it.
Okay.
So if you want to erase it, then the motion would be
Well, I think-
to amend the agenda by rescinding item number 7A under unfinished business.
Correct.
Public hearing on unmanned vehicle system.
Yeah, well, through the chair, I think what it'd be is that far as for the public hearing aspect of it and for the specs report, to approve it so it can go to the city council for
Yeah,
a
but you
hearing.
got to handle those separately.
Yes, separately, yep. All right, so I'll make the motion. You want to make the motion just?
I made
the motion to remove it first.
Right.
Okay.
So what we're looking at, and Madam Parliamentarian, please correct me, I've got on here that we are looking to amend the agenda.
No.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
I might be wrong. To amend the agenda to rescind item 7A.
Yeah.
You have it correctly, Mr. Chairman.
Had it correctly.
All right. Thank you.
At stars, I'd give you one.
Thank you.
Okay.
We've got them. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Discussion, Madam Chair. Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Commissioner Bowman had his hand up first.
Commissioner Bowman, I am so sorry.
Okay, I just,
It's on the motion, right? Correct?
excuse me, yes. I'm having trouble supporting this motion because it sounds like we are going to have a vote on the specification report without having the hearing regarding this before the vote. And that seemed to be the entire reason we didn't vote on it a week ago. And suddenly, now we're suddenly feeling like we don't need to do that. That doesn't sit right with me.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Camille, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. Similarly, I don't support this motion, and I know Commissioner Bowman has been following the board for a long time and has seen these specification reports go through the process, as have I. And I know this is the first specification report we have coming through the board during this new composition of the board. The action that the board is taking today is different from the action that City Council is going to take later. What we are looking at are the technical specifications of technology. And thankfully, we had quite a few people join public comment and make some comments regarding this. I'm not sure if there's some additional that we're waiting for this agenda item to share additional questions and concerns. But we have the opportunity to make changes and adjustments to the specifications of the technology before it goes to City Council and goes through the RFP process, which this specification report is going to define what type of capabilities the technology is going to have that gets put forward to City Council. So this is not a pass-through step. This step is important. Feedback from the community at this step is important, and it concerns me that there's a sentiment that we can just pass this through without really sitting down with community and hearing their voices and potentially making adjustments based on their concerns before passing this on to City Council, where this type of activity is not going to occur again. And when I say activity, I'm not talking about the public comment. The public comment will happen at City Council, and it'll be, you know, whether to move forward with it or not. But dealing with the specifications of this happens here. And one of my concerns is that this is actually a 3-in-1 specification report, because there's 3 different types of drones in this specification report, and they have different specifications. And so there are some where the specifications may be just fine. And then there's some other ones where we need to take a look at them. So I would really like to see this broken out into 3 different specification reports so we can deal with each type of drone separately. And I have a whole list of questions and concerns about this, including the conflicting responses I've been getting about if this is going to be, if all 3 or just 1 or 2 of them are going to be autonomously driven by AI. For a moment last week, we were told no, and by the end of the answer, it was yes. And then in the policy committee meeting, when I asked why drones could not be put into the title of the proposed policy, I was told because drones are, by FAA definition, can be autonomously driven by AI, and that these were not going to be the case. But that's what's written in the specification report. So I think we have some questions that need to be dealt with. There were people in the public comment today that raised some concerns about perhaps, yes, we want drones used in a certain type of way, but not in this other type of way. And I think it's something that we should take our time with. It's not something that should be rushed, and it's something that we should do in partnership with the community. That is just my philosophy about doing these things with community. I also agree with the democratic process, and my fellow commissioners can vote however you feel your heart leads you.
Thank you, Commissioner Camille.
I'm all set, Mr. Chair.
Moving on to Commissioner Woods.
Yes, that we did hear from the community in a robust way. We had 10 public commenters to comment on the drone technology, and it shared their sentiments. It was very, very crystal clear what we heard from them. You know, I don't see anything new coming out of other, you know, I hear what you're saying, Commissioner Camille, as relates to the being broke down, but there's nothing new that I believe that we will hear from the community on this particular issue, because they have exhausted it to the umpteenth power today.
Thank you. Commissioner Morris, and then Commissioner Ivy.
Thank you.
So I've already had responses from my community. I'm out in the community. I'm speaking with people. I speak with people on social media as well. And the people I've spoken with are people who have had their children come up missing.
Yeah.
You know, people who have been hit on a hit and run, and the police try to stop them, and they don't pull over. And so it becomes, you know, the police have to terminate the chase. And sometimes that's encouraging people to keep doing what they're doing because they know it's a no chase policy.
Right.
With the drones, it gives the department the ability to still monitor and track these people who have hit people and kept it moving, and to find kids and bring these kids back. So we have to look at that aspect of it. I'm also satisfied that in doing this, there is a way for us to provide oversight to make sure that the technology is being used for just those purposes and not nefarious purposes. So if there's anything that is going on with the drones that shouldn't be, we do have a way to track the activity of those drones, the runs, where they were sent, and what all information was collected. So we still have oversight over even the technology to make sure that that doesn't happen. So, you know, in the best interest of, you know, missing children, hit and runs, things, you know, that are occurring in my district, I've already had the public hearing in my eyes, and I'm ready to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Morris.
You know, thank you.
Commissioner Ivy.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just sitting up here wondering how he took that right out of my brain like that. Because I just want to add to, in District 1, like you, Commissioner Morris, I've had conversations with my residents, Zoom meetings, and talking with people about the use of drones. And their understanding of it is clear. Because we have our meetings at our 8th precinct. The team come in who represent the unarmed or unmanned, they explain it very well. So people in that district, with the exception of a few, are pretty accepting to the idea of having that for safety. And let me say this as a grandmother to twin autistic children, I would want someone to find my babies quick. So I am all for assisting any police department in finding and saving a life of parents who have autistic children, missing parents, anything that's going to help resolve and help to put at ease the family's needs and wants of something that's going on. I think drones are fine. I just, you know, I'll say this, if there are any other people in their own prospective districts who want to know more about it, just set up a meeting and have this team come out and break it down even further. I just don't see no need to keep going over and over the same question every week, when if this is something y'all are specifically concerned about, just set it up with a team and have them set those presentations up with you and in that prospective community or those people who still have concerns.
Thank you. Commissioner Watts?
Yes,
Commissioner Bowman.
just finally on this, you know, my thoughts is, you know, we all sit up on this table, and I think also the chief and the department, as we try to continue to do ways and work together to keep our community safe, we always want to have public engagement. That's what we want to do as we're working together. We want the community, we want the input. Having said that, specifically in my district, we haven't spoke to everyone, but I routinely go around to a lot of meetings, 2 or 3 a week. So I listen to my community. Basically what my community is saying as a board, and ones who watch and some who don't, some who hear, they're like, first of all, we don't want this bickering among you guys or going against our chief of the police department. What we really want is a safe community. We want to make sure the people that come in our house are the ones we invited, not the uninvited. We want to make sure when we go outside, our car is still there. We want to make sure we can walk outside, whether we walk into the corner store, we walk into the river walk, wherever we walk, and we can do it free and safely, and our children get back and forth to school. They entrust us, whether we're appointed or whether we're elected, to get into the weeds. That's what we're here for, too, and also to hear what they want is the cake. Sometimes the public in my district, the ones I'm talking to, say, I don't want to just be involved with the ingredient. You know what I want, the cake. I want a safe community. I want you to work with the police department. I want you to work with us. I want you to work with your colleagues. We want a safer community. And that's the bottom line. So I'm here to work with all of my colleagues. I'm not here to belabor anything. I'm trying to do the best, like all of us. And we always want to make sure we include public engagement. I don't want anyone to think it's just one or two people up here that's concerned about what the public wants. We all want that, and we want to hear from you. And then at the end of the day, we want to move collectively together to get everyone a safer community. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Commissioner Bowman?
Yeah, a couple things. First, well, it's all goes together.
Excuse me.
The things that we have heard people discuss is, and even up to this moment really, has been pro-drone or anti-drone. And this isn't pro-drone or anti-drone. This is a specification report where we're trying to narrow the parameters under which drones can be properly operated, if indeed they are to be approved for funding by the City Council. That's what this is about. And to have a public hearing, and one thing I noticed there seemed to be very limited information in the announcement. Has the public even been able to see this document? And if not, are we allowed to share this document with the public? Secondly, I'm looking here, and again, a non-searchable PDF. Somehow this has been given to us as an image in a PDF file format rather than a searchable document. And I don't understand that. If this was originally created on a word processor and you save as a PDF, the default is for it to be saved as a searchable PDF. So why conceal the accessibility of the document by having it as an image? I don't quite get that. So I think this really, the public needs to be able to understand what is in the specification report and be able to comment on that. And we should be able to go back and revise this and come back if we see revisions are called for, and then come back next week and vote on that. But apparently some people don't want to even have this hearing at all that was announced.
Motion to call the question.
Hold on, Commissioner. I want to entertain. I'm sorry. Correct me.
He made a motion, and it's interrupting motion. Now, if no one seconds it, it dies for lack of a second.
I second it.
And this is a non-debatable motion, Mr. Chair. 2/3 required to adopt.
All right, so we have a motion, and that motion is to call.
To end debate.
Right, end the debate. It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion?
No discussions, non-debatable motion.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian.
All in favor?
All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Chairman, for a 2/3 vote, which this requires, the parliamentarian would advise a raise of hands so we can count. It's 7 in favor.
So the motion passes.
You got to ask for those opposed.
Those opposed, please indicate by raising your hand.
3. That's 2/3 in favor. The motion is adopted. So you immediately go to the pending motion, which was to amend the agenda by rescinding item 7A under unfinished business. No more debate.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. So we will move back to the motion that I will repeat again, that is looking to, on the agenda, to rescind item 7A.
2/3 vote required to adopt.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your hand.
7 in favor.
Thank you. All those opposed, please indicate by raising your hand.
3 opposed. Motion is adopted, sir.
Thank you. So the motion is adopted.
Motion to approve specification of report.
Support.
Your discussion on the motion?
Discussion, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a list of questions for the chief in regards to this. I'm sure he has his staff here that can answer some of those. So I beg my colleagues' patience with this. can we get clarification on, of these 3 types of drones, which ones are planning to be equipped to drive anonymously with AI?
Through the chair, because I'd like to clear up a couple things, especially this AI that we have, these drones, kind of like I kind of envisioned, and maybe I'm dating myself, the Terminator, like Skynet, that they're just flying and doing what they have to do. That is not true at all. The AI is to make sure it doesn't hit walls. The AI uses GPS to get it to a location. Per FAA regulation, you have to have a pilot at all times. There is always somebody that is, quote, flying the plane that's responsible for that plane. That's FAA regulation. So anyone that believes that these are Skynet AI drones just flying around aimlessly and there's no oversight, there's no one watching them, there's no one doing anything, that's blatantly false. That's false and it's misleading. Now, in regards to the drones, for the AI, all drones have a certain type of AI that will allow them to not hit a wall or run into something. It does that. It's for safety. The drone first responders can be launched autonomously, which means that we can push a button, we can watch them launch, and we are still in control. We can take over at any time, but they will fly to the location without us flying it, so to speak. When it gets there, we can say, okay, we are going to fly these drones. And then when we're done, we can, quote, fly them back, or we can push a button and we can have them fly back as we watch them fly back. So there's no one getting up out of a console, walking around, and no one knows what these drones are doing. There is always somebody in control. And I will say this because I have started to take the PA 107 training, commercial drone training. And I will tell you, it is a very, very hard type of training and to understand how to fly these drones, but all the federal guidelines. So I just want to make sure that the board understands that these are not something that, it's not a toy. It's not a toy at all. And the AI, so to speak, that's in there is to make sure and ensure safety.
Thank you, GC Bliss. Through the chair. I'm sorry, Chief.
To the board, and I think this is important, what I'm about to add, that could affect the vote as far as the approval of the specification report is, I never sent forth a request from my office for it to be approved. And so at this particular time, I didn't request it. And so therefore, I wouldn't expect the board to vote on it today. So I just wanted to add that piece to it as well.
Praise the Lord. I motion to withdraw my
I'll second that.
I do plan on at some point sending the specification report with a request, but probably within the next 2-3 weeks. But as of right now, no.
The motion was made and was second. Withdraw.
Okay. Your notes, Huss. Withdraw.
Yes.
I've got it right.
Get it?
All right, so we do have a motion that has been made and supported. We are looking to withdraw item 7B from the agenda. I think I am saying this right. Is there, Madam Parliamentarian is walking in. Is there any discussion?
Keep the shit rolling.
Madam Parliamentarian has walked in. Does that mean y'all need
No
something?
discussion. No discussion. All in favor?
All in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your hand.
What's the motion?
If I may, Mr. Chair, we are having difficulty. Please, board members, speak directly into the mics. You're going to cause us not to have a record, and we did not hear the maker or the support of the last motion.
I made it and he second. Commissioner Bowman seconded.
And are you clear on what the motion was?
We're not, sir.
So the motion is to withdraw item 7B from the agenda.
Well, it was to withdraw my motion.
You can't withdraw your motion.
I can't?
No.
Okay. I was trying to sleep through there.
Yeah. You can't withdraw. The board can withdraw it.
Okay.
You can't withdraw it. So
okay.
you can move.
I move for it.
What was the motion to adopt this one?
I have the motion that states to, I'm sorry, I have the motion to withdraw item 7B from the agenda.
You can rescind it. You can't withdraw it.
All right.
A motion to rescind.
There you go.
And was second by Bowman.
2/3 vote required. It is debatable.
Is there any
debate?
Yeah, discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your hand.
Yeah.
10.
Unanimous. Thank you. Motion.
Announce the motion. Okay, motion carried.
Motion carries. Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. So unless I'm wrong, we are now moving on to new business.
Yes, where's it at in my book for the candidates? For the three?
8A.
8? 8A?
8A.
I don't have it in here. Here you go.
Through the chair, it should be under the new business tab.
Second. All right. By direction of the Personnel and Training Committee, I make a motion to recommend Kaylin Bell, Latara Brown, and Isabella Victicari for the investigator position, and Cassandra McKenzie was named as an alternate candidate for the position of investigator.
Support.
It's by direction of, so.
Okay.
No second is required.
I'm sorry, what did you say, ma'am?
Committee, more than one person makes a motion, no second is required.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, you got to ask for debate, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry, say that again?
You have to, I hate to disagree with Commissioner Woods, but this is a debatable motion. So you have to ask if there's any debate.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your hand. All those opposed?
And
Unanimous, the motion carries.
I have other new business, if there's no other new business, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Woods?
I move to rescind the motion adopted June 18, 2026, that we direct Corporation Counsel to start the process and obtain an independent counsel for the Board of Police Commissioners.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Woods where we're looking to rescind. Am I saying that correct?
Yes.
The motion that was adopted in our June 18th meeting.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. I'm not the parliamentarian, but we really need you to pull the mic up, please. Thank you.
We have a motion on the floor that was made by Commissioner Woods and supported where we are looking to rescind an item that was approved at our June 18th meeting regarding corporate counsel. Am I saying
Respect,
that?
Mr. Chairman, it's not
Point
on
of
the floor
order.
until you state it.
I'm sorry, say that again, ma'am?
Not on the floor until you state the motion. Once you state it, then it's on the floor.
Motion is made. Here you go.
Thank you.
Top call.
All right. Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. I move to rescind the motion adopted on June.
Point of order. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Motion is.
Yeah, I move to rescind.
It was a motion made.
It is moved.
Commissioner Woods.
Yep.
2.
And that's already been supported.
Point of order.
Got to state what the motion is so we can vote on it.
The motion that was made.
It is moved, Mr. Chairman. It is moved to. You're not moving it. When you
Right.
say I move, it looks like it's your motion.
Yeah, it's a motion, move to adopt what occurred on June the 18th and that motion on the June 18th meeting, we directed corporate counsel to start the process in obtaining independent counsel for the Board of Police Commissioners.
I believe the motion is to rescind, is it not, Commissioner Woods?
That's what it was.
Rescind.
Okay.
We've had support on the motion.
Point of order.
Hold on. We had support on the,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams seconded,
correct. All right.
stated it.
Yep.
Now it is on the floor.
So is
Point of order.
Bowman?
Thank you. I believe this is equivalent to a motion to reconsider, which would only be voted on by the prevailing side, and I believe Commissioner Woods voted against that motion at that meeting.
I wasn't here.
If you would like me to, I could respond.
Madam.
Well, absent would
that is
be-
not accurate, Commissioner Bowman. The motion to reconsider has to be made on the day the motion you want to consider was disposed of, whether that's voted up or down. So if this was a motion to reconsider, it would be out of order because it would have had to been made on June the 18th. The motion to rescind, as well as the motion to amend something previously adopted, can be made by anybody, whether they voted in favor or opposed or didn't vote at all. So this motion to rescind is in order. What you do with it is your business, but it is not equivalent to the motion to reconsider.
Motion to call the question.
Mr. Chairman, you have to rule on the point of order, whether it is well taken or not well taken.
Through the chair.
For the point of order, not well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, for the motion, not well taken. I'm sorry, for the point of order, not well taken.
Motion
Through
to
the
call the
chair.
question.
It has been moved and supported that we
Discussion.
call for the question.
You made a motion to call for the question?
Yes,
It has to be seconded.
she seconded.
Yeah,
It's non-debatable motion.
right.
This is the end debate
Yeah.
on the motion just stated.
All in favor of the motion, please indicate. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your hand.
Now, you're voting to end debate. You're not voting on the motion that was made.
Okay, to end debate. All in favor of the motion to end debate, please indicate by raising your hand.
At 7 in favor.
Those opposed, please raise your hand.
2, motion is adopted.
Motion is adopted.
Now, you're back to the motion, no more discussion. You're on the motion to rescind the motion adopted on June the 18th about seeking an independent attorney.
Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. All those in favor of the motion, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your hand.
Seven.
All those opposed, please indicate by raising your hand.
Roll call.
We just raised our hands, Commissioner Bowman.
I want it to be on the record who voted yes and who voted no.
The request for a roll call is a motion. It's not something that can be done on demand. It can be
Second.
done if the chairman is unsure about the outcome. In this case, the chairman is not unsure.
Correct.
So the request for a roll call vote is a motion. It has to be seconded and voted upon.
Second.
All right, the motion made by Commissioner Bowman has received support. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Call the question.
Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your hand. All opposed, please indicate by raising your hand.
Motion for roll call vote fails.
Motion adjourned.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, you have to
Discussion.
say the motion failed.
I'm sorry. The motion failed. Thank you, Madam Parliamentarian.
Yeah, motion adjourned.
Discussion?
Discussion of what?
On what?
What?
I'd like to move that the secretary put into the record who voted yes and who voted no on the last motion.
Parliamentarian.
Is there any support on the motion?
There's no such
It's not germane.
action in Robert's Rules of Order.
Okay.
The parliamentarian cannot advise on something that doesn't exist in Robert's Rules.
We will entertain the
Particularly
motion.
since the roll call motion failed, the parliamentarian would advise the chair, since the purpose of this is in effect to do what the roll call vote is, it's out of order, just voted it down.
We have a motion, and it's been supported to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, please indicate by aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy